Hello. How are we doing? Oh, we're going to do so many Genestealer Cult things today. We're going to go over all of the units of the Genestealer Cult with their uses, their abilities, maybe their best detachments, because not all of the detachments want all the units. There's a lot of things we can do. Oh, someone got into the Battle Sisters at the last stream. Yeah, we'll see what we can do for you at this stream with the Genestealer Cult. Oh, people holding objectives at 20 Neophytes? That is the best way to hold an objective. That, or kill all the enemy. Or not be there because you're in the Outlander Claw and the objective is sticky. That helps you hold primary and then you can die elsewhere. That works. It kind of works. My video on all the 1000 point army lists for the Genestealer Cult did help me get more tactics for the Genestealer Cult. And then I was like, some of this doesn't work. Some of the things I've been doing are not that great. And then I got better. Oh, you're here for the vibes. That's so nice. Thank you. Blowing people up? Yeah, the Host of Ascension 3-inch Deep Strike was changed to a 6-inch Deep Strike. There was a balance patch change for that, so the Tunnel Crawler stratagem now gets rid of the bit that if you're battle line, it's 3 inches away. It's now fixed at 6 inches away. But that can mean you pop up on the opposite side of an objective. If they're like, oh, I'm slightly towing onto it, it's like, well, I'm slightly towing onto it on the other side with the several objective control 2 models. This is my objective now. Nothing that they can do about it. I'll get some more people in, and then we'll talk about the charity stuff, and then we'll talk about the tier list properly. I find it hard to do a general tier list for the Genestealer Cult because so many units are great in one detachment and so completely lacking in others. That's why when I did each of the detachment deep dive videos, there is a tier list within that for all of the Genestealer Cult units. We also don't have a great, generic benchmark detachment, as the Host of Ascension, while it can do some combat, it is so very focused on shooting and coming from reserve, which means if you're not coming from reserve, like with trucks and the Jackal Bikers, you're not getting much out of the detachment. Like the Patriarch doesn't do anything in the Outlander Claw, but has great power in Final Day or the Biosanctic Brood Surge. So we'll be going over some of the good ways to use each unit in a key detachment for them, but we're looking at the meta as it is right now. There have been a lot of changes, like when the Genestealer Cult Codex came out, that, I think, certainly was written under the Leviathan rules, so if it's like, haha, you have Assault, that means you can advance and complete actions. But now you can't, so it's not that great. Also, all of the detachments have at least one redundant stratagem, and I really wish Games Workshop would just let me at it, and I'll fix them. I'll fix all of them, and definitely fix whatever's happening in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, because we have 1, maybe 2 working stratagems. I'm okay with Dark Network as well if it also meant that enemies disembarking from transports let you have a 6-inch move, then it would be more useful. Otherwise it's like, oh, they came from reserve and I move a bit with a unit. That's it. Nah, I'm not into that. If it was a surge move and we could end in close combat, then it'd be like, hey, don't ever deep strike 6 inches away from me because I'll be in combat with you. That'd be fine. So there's been a lot of changes, definitely changes. Mission packs change, points change, whatever Cult Ambush is doing this week as a rule, that keeps changing. I'm not going to be covering the Brood Brothers units, so anything from the Imperial Guard Codex. I did a recent video on just them and how they apply in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, because that's the only detachment we can use them in, unfortunately. Because I would love to take a Lehman Russ or some Sentinels in other detachments. The Tyranids and their units are in the Final Day detachment. That video, I have a video on that. But Raveners, they're D tier, unless they get a new datasheet from their Kill Team release, which has new models, and it looks like you get 5 in a unit rather than 3 or 6 at the moment. That means they may cost more and their abilities may not be great, so we'll just think of them as in D tier for now. Whereas Gargoyles, are an S tier unit because they can move and shoot, and they move with weapons that are always assault, so they can advance and then move again. So they're moving like 18 inches plus d6, and they have like the 9-inch deep strike, and then after a movement of 6, that's basically a 3-inch deep strike, like the Seraphim in the Seraphim video that I did this week. Yeah. Do a tier list based off how good the models look. Ooh, I don't know about that. Let me just have a quick peek. I'll have a quick peek at the models. Are there any that I'm thinking like, yeah, these are amazing? Because a lot of them are monopose. Neophytes are pretty good. A lot of customization in Neophytes. Acolytes especially, because you can get 3 different kinds of units out of the Acolyte box. And it was made in the good time of Games Workshop, where they weren't doing, yeah, it's multi-part, but you get 1 pose out of it. So you have to put 6 bits together to get exactly the same pose. Like, that was one of the problems with metal models. You buy a metal model and every third guy looks exactly the same. Now we have that but in plastic, and I don't like that. So the Acolytes are really good. The characters are all fine. We have 2 different kind of Magus, if you want that. The Aberrants look pretty good. The Jackal Bikers have so many arms, and I like that. Far more than you ever need. There's like 2 with demo charge things that look cool. The Wolf Quad is nice. As a tiny little vehicle thing, it's pretty nice to paint. We have a new Primus model potentially available if it's a store anniversary or something Warhammer Plus. It looks basically the same as the Primus model we have. We only have the 1 Patriarch. I would be okay with another Patriarch model. The vehicles look pretty good. The truck gives you extra models of like Neophyte models if you want them. Well, I think that's our entire range. Some of them are good, some of them are not. Don't buy the characters. The characters are far too expensive by themselves. You always take the Patriarch, otherwise it doesn't feel like a real cult. Okay. Ooh, thank you, Tonlito. Useful updates to the modern rule sets would include things like build your own detachment rules or build your own vehicle. Ooh, that would get the Chimera or Leman Russ. They used to be a build your own, like, vehicle rules in 3rd edition, 4th edition, about that time, made by Jervis Johnson, and they came out in White Dwarf. They were, from a rules point of view, a mistake. People did crazy things, and they were like, okay, I have this, it can be wounded by lasguns really easily, and can absolutely die to lasguns, but it has a mega cannon on it. Or have a Chimera with 15 lasguns. That's not amazing. Oh, yeah, I didn't mention the Benefictus. Yeah, let's not mention the Benefictus. I need to make sure the Benefictus is in my tier list. Good, I will have that. And I'll make sure that they're in the tier list image later. Because I forgot to add them, because the tier list image I'm using is from before the Benefictus came out, like pre-Codex. I know big brain, but it's a weird model. We didn't need to have a Benefictus exist. It should have just been, hey, we're in the Genestealer Cult Codex now. The Magus has a massive mind laser. Wouldn't you know it, now the Genestealer Cult Magus is actually useful. Malstrain Genestealers look good. The problem is there's like 2 poses, and that's it. You can have looking left or looking right, and that's about it. Yeah, it was like, 3rd edition into 4th edition was build your own vehicles. Fun times. Okay, we have about 50 people. Let's do the stream proper. So, stream today is Genestealer Cult live stream tier list, and we're doing it as part of a charity live stream to raise money for the Albert Kennedy Trust. So, there was a ruling earlier this week that the UK 2010 Equality Act means that trans people don't have the same access to areas that non-trans people do. So if you have a homeless shelter that's just for women, that no longer includes trans women. So I wanted to help them. So the non-politics version is, there are some people who are homeless and we can help a charity to help them. So this live stream has a button in the description to give money to the Albert Kennedy Trust. Let's see, they've been helped by Sir Ian McKellen. If you like Lord of the Rings, one of the famous actors from that has helped the charity before, and now also me. For 36 years, the Albert Kennedy Trust has provided routes to safe housing and bespoke casework support for LGBTQ plus young people facing homelessness. The Albert Kennedy Trust is a UK-wide charity with centres in Manchester, London, Newcastle, which is near me, Bristol, and provides vital housing support via online services with their digital team. To this day, about a quarter of young homeless people, aged like 16 to 25, are LGBTQ+, so there's definitely a need for services just for them. And the Albert Kennedy Trust exists to help young people who are homeless or experiencing potential homelessness by living in a hostile environment and need some support. So if you or someone you know is 16 to 25, LGBTQ+ in the UK and needs housing or homeless support, you can contact the Albert Kennedy Trust at akt.org.uk. You can also go to their website to find more information and help them out more. I am going to be giving some of my money to the charity. The idea is to match the support of my community. So if you collectively give £20 to help the homeless kids, I give £20. If you give £90, I will give £90. If you came together as a collective broodmind and poured £250 in to support the charity, I will add £250. I don't think I can go much higher than that. That's like all the money I get from Ko-fi in a month. So we'll see what we can do. And let's actually have a look at where it is at the moment. We are at 100% already. Okay. Oh, that's excellent. Oh, I'm super proud of all of you for helping out. Thank you for being an awesome community. I didn't expect to meet the target before the stream had even started. So how about we read the messages, because people can leave messages. We'll show all the messages. Anonymous money. Someone else giving anonymous money. I assume they're different people. Oh, thank you, Dirac. Thank you. I'll be checking the goal. Okay, yeah, I see the goal now. Thank you. We have from Jay, good cause matey, keep it up. And they have gift aid. So gift aid is if you are a UK taxpayer, then you can say, normally money from payments goes to, well, partly to the government on account of there's tax. But you can say, no, this money is for a charity, and the money that would have been collected by the government as tax can instead go to the charity. That's an option, if you're in the UK and you pay tax. So another anonymous person saying important work, keep it up. George G saying, hello, I wanted to thank you for your great Genestealer Cult videos with this donation. It's not a lot, but I hope it helps. Keep up the good work, GG. That is good game, and also George G. Thank you for the €3.68. From Events Beyond Me. Good job, the Patriarch would approve, and Sister Celestine would lend her tears to this effort as well. Thank you for donating $5. And from Paul is bad at stuff. I can't make the stream but want to support the cause and the channel. Keep up the good work in the name of the Four-Armed Emperor. Thank you, Paul. You're like the closest, well, one of the closest people I have to colleagues, I guess. Thank you for your support. Despite Centurions. Anonymous person gives 50 monies and another 12.50 in gift aid. And then we have Zarota, super long time supporter of the channel, amazing, amazing person, giving 60 Australian dollars. Lovely. So that gets us to the goal. I might need to restart that. Just joined. What are we supporting? It's the Albert Kennedy Trust. It's a homeless charity in the UK for young people to get them off the streets and into somewhere good. Oh, Big Hammer Lady gives many non-binary vibes. Big Hammer? No, it has to be a big axe. The lesbian symbol has a big axe. Or is it bisexual? Then you swing both ways. No, it's definitely lesbians. Lesbians have the big axe. Okay, good. I will leave that for the moment. So, okay, good. It's met the target. I should now add my own £250 to it, but not yet. I think not yet. I checked my bank account just before the stream, and I'm good to go up to £300. So if between you can use the link in the description and add more money to it and get up to £300, then I will give £300. I can afford it. If you get to like 290, then I'll give £290 at the end of the stream. Okay? Okay. We're good. No, I didn't do hands today. Of all of the things I'm doing, the hand tracking was additional things to like keep track essentially of. Because I had to do like, okay, we've got to have the stream working, we'd have chat working properly, we've got to have, well, the stream working properly, that's a big thing. The music has to be right, the tier list has to be working, the charity stuff has to be working. The hand tracking was an extra thing I didn't want to have to make sure could go wrong. If I'm doing a long video as well, I may just have the hand tracking off. So that's something to expect in the future. And maybe if it's a shorter video, yeah, I'll do it with a shorter video. But I found that with the Seraphim video I did, every now and then I'd be like, oh, I'm editing and the hands have gone all noodly. So I'll have to redo that section, re-record that. Calamity Dragon, thank you for giving me £3.77, the equivalent of $5 US. Hello, I'm trans and was homeless for a bit. Luckily I had people there for me. Although it's not much, I hope this helps someone else get on their feet. Thank you. I will put that in the money. So when I give my 300, I will also add in your 377. So I give £303.77. Okie dokie. Lovely. That's going in the list. Right, so yes, so in the description we have the Just Giving link. And yeah, there's many other links in there. Those are entirely optional. Because there's a separate one, which is the Ko-fi link to just support me. Shall we begin the tier list? Okay, who has a preference of which model, character, anything we start with? Boom, there's a tier list on screen. I'll move slightly over. That's fine. I don't know if we're going to fill up everything. There's not that many Genestealer Cult units. It'll be fine. Tonlito, you did security at a homeless shelter in the United States, and there was a friction in the normal shelter between cis people and trans people. Ah, glad someone is doing something to help in the UK. Thank you. Wenvin Tan, no! No! If you could include the Triumph of St. Catherine in the Battle Sisters Combat Patrol, then in that Rhino you could put the Triumph of St. Catherine. But since the Triumph of St. Catherine is not able to go in that Rhino, which doesn't exclude the Triumph of St. Catherine, it doesn't matter. The Triumph of St. Catherine is excluded. Okay. Kadri, while not living in the UK, support anyone who supports the unhoused. Thank you for supporting a good cause. You are most welcome. Honestly, I was going to do some support for this charity, regardless of the ruling this week. Because helping homeless people always seems a great thing, what with economy not feeling amazing, and people losing houses, and houses just costing so much. So much. Yeah. Alright, Brandon wants to start with Neophytes. Brandon is a channel member. We will start with Neophytes. So, let me explain the levels. Because I have 5 levels for the forearms of the Patriarch and also the face, because the Patriarch gets 5 attacks, so you have to include the face. We have S tier, which is always include them for like almost all the detachments. We have A tier, which is generally good units with a good use in most detachments. B tier are the overshadowed units. Like, they work, but there is often another unit that does it better. Oh, maybe the 5th attack is the tail. I always think of it as the face. Whichever one. Right, C tier. Those are the units that are good in 1-ish detachment. And then we have D tier. D tier is... don't include this unit. There is going to be better units. Taking the unit is like a detriment to your army, because you spent points on something that anything else would be better. And it depends how bad it can get depending on the cost of the model or unit. Okie dokie. Right, requests to start with Neophytes. I will absolutely start with Neophytes. If I can find Neophytes in my list of notes. I found the Neophytes. Let's pop some Neophytes. Where are you? Hello, Neophytes. Let's just hold them there for the moment. And let's think about some Neophytes. Is S tier just the Ridgerunner tier? A lot of people think of it as the Ridgerunner tier. There are other things I consider S tier. Yes. Ultra No Fun, hello from Russia. Thank you for your work. Love the videos. Helped you with Genestealer Cults. Wonderful. Magus needs her own tier below D. I might be making a case for the Magus to be in C tier. Maybe. Herman, what is the charity exactly? It is, well, you can see from the many links, like the Just Giving link, it has a full description of the charity and what it does. It's a charity that helps homeless young people aged 16 to 24. Gives them, like, housing and support. Love your channel, you're an awesome creator. Dana, thank you. Thanks for choosing a great cause. It's a problem in Colorado as well. Damn. I hope there's a Colorado-related charity that can help. Yeah. Okay, we'll do Neophytes, then we'll look at Metamorph hybrids if you remind me again about Metamorph hybrids. Magos needs the OG Psycho rules. Probably. The Magos needs to do something, as does the Patriarch for Psychic Powers, and the Benefictus maybe also, because they have 2 Psychic Power things, which one is a las cannon, but from the brain, and the other one is, once per game, they can give themselves just the model, only them, no one else, a 4+ invulnerable save. Which isn't very good. It should be the unit, and I swear it's a mistake, but they've never corrected it, as they haven't fixed many of the things in the Genestealer Cult Codex, and I hope that in June, maybe they will, because we'll be on like the 1-year anniversary of the Genestealer Cult Codex, because it was announced around May time, came out around June time. Brandon, thank you for upgrading. Yeah, so I hope that in June we get maybe another detachment. I think Sisters need another detachment more, because they have 5 detachments. They could go to 6. Genestealer Cult have 6 detachments, but we could definitely do with having a Cult Bladed Cog, Mechanicus style, but not another Alliance detachment. Please, not another Alliance detachment. We already have Imperial Guard. We already have Tyranids. That's enough. That is enough. I don't want to be buying AdMech as well, or proxying AdMech models, or going through all of the AdMech units and being like, hey, do we want a chicken walker? That's something. Oh dear. So please not that, just good stuff. Genestealer Cult allied with Votan? I don't think it's going to happen. That would be like mercenaries. And come on, we both have the mining vibe. If anything, it's a fight over the mining vibe. New Alliance Detachment Chaos Cult. Hey, that wouldn't be too bad. I would be okay with that. However, you know, we have all the cultists. We're fine. Welcome, Herman. Thank you for your support and joining the Legion. When we get further on, I'll throw some... Maybe if I have some to spare, I'll add some memberships of my own. Genestealer Cult and Knights. Yeah, everyone's just allying with Knights. It's awful. It's awful. Too many people had the Genestealer Cult Combat Patrol, thus the Magus was too good, so to make people buy other things, they went with it. Yeah. Genestealer Cult and Slanesh. Yeah, Votan would make cool proxies. I like the idea of the Pioneers with the coats. They make good-looking acolytes. Just, like, I have a half-coat thing. Yeah, it looks good. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Many cool things. Alright, so the Neophytes. Well, we don't really need the Neophytes in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, because... Oh wait, we definitely need Neophytes in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, because even though we have Cadians who have the sticky objective rule, they can work, but the Neophytes do it better. The Neophytes can come back through Cult Ambush. The Neophytes have a Cult Icon to regenerate. Yeah, we definitely want that. Yeah, Genestealer Cult and Imperial Agents again. We'll see. No, we did that. We did that. It was silly. It's been allowed before, but they changed the rules to stop it. Right, Neophytes can kill light infantry. They can get to objectives. They have sticky objectives, so you can start them on the home objective and then move forward, get to the midboard. In the Host of Ascension, you can hold the line or work in squads of 20. Then you can have so many different combos. You could just have 20 guys pop on from reserves, then they get sustained hits. I have a unit of 20 in my 2,000 point list with just no character, just 20 models. Get onto an objective. You could even use the Tunnel Crawler's stratagem to drop 6 inches away. That's a pile of guys on an objective. It's a line of guys blocking the enemy. That can be great if you go first. Then the enemy isn't too far up before your second turn. You've also got Benefictus and Host of Ascension Neophytes. Then you have sustained hits and lethal hits when coming from reserves. Or you have my preference, which is 20 Neophytes with a Primus with the chink in their armor enhancement. That gives you the lethal hits as well as sustained hits, and you get full rerolls to hit, so you can fish for those 6s. And with the primed and ready stratagem, you can change that to 5, so you can fish for 5s to get lethal hits and sustained hits and do an absurd amount of damage. It's really fun. You should all do it. In other detachments, we have, you can put Neophytes in a truck in the Outlander Claw. There's several characters with enhancements that will support them with a cartographic data leech. If you add, say, a Reductus Saboteur or a Benefictus, potentially. I prefer the Reductus Saboteur because she's cheaper and better. And you can let her off separately to the Neophytes. That's what I did in the 1,000 point list. They can hold objectives, just generally. In detachments like the Biosanctum Brood Surge and Final Day, they can complete secondary missions. The enemy has to kill you, and if they have only light firepower, like at 1,000 points, they may not kill 10 models, and then we get a bunch of guys back, like to be above 50%, so we don't have to take a battle shock test. If you're in... Well, if there's 20 of you, then they have to do a lot of damage to wipe you out. And if they don't wipe you out, which they probably won't, then you are recovering models. Oh, and if you get shot in the Host of Ascension, you can return to the shadows and hide, and hey, you're back in reserve. You can use abilities in reserve, like the Cult Icon, and then you come back on and oh, look at that, we have sustained hits again. Because they deep strike. They can deep strike and complete secondary missions. You can, in the Xenocreed detachment, there is Path of Anguish. So if the enemy shoots them and you're within 6 inches, you can surge move into them. Then they're tied up in engagement range. They're not going to do stuff, and they might not want that. Maybe that just is enough to get us onto an objective, and then we control it with our objective control. Have I frozen, or is it just my internet that's telling me? Oh, we're good. It seems okay. I'm sure you'd tell me if everything crashed, which you couldn't do because it crashed, and the chat wouldn't be there. We seem fine. We seem fine. Okay, this is definitely an S tier unit. It does so much in so many detachments. It's super powerful in some detachments. Otherwise, they're incredibly useful. That definitely fits the always include them in most, if not all, detachments. I see an argument in, like, The Outlander Claw, that if you want sticky objectives, the Jackal Bikers already do that. But I'd rather have the Neophytes. Neophytes only a little bit more. That's good. That's definitely good. You want to have... Oh, yeah. Genestealer Cult and Orks. Oh, yeah. There's so many things from back in, like, Rogue Trader times. There were Orks that were Genestealers. The problem was you only got to, like, 1st or 2nd generation, and then the weird spore things of, like, the Orks meant you didn't get a 3rd or 4th generation. Or any Genestealers, because they reproduce with spores. So it, like, didn't really work. Almost all of the armies and factions and races of the galaxy, other than humans, have some inbuilt resistance to the Genestealer Cult. Like, the Votann can alter their DNA, and they clone people. They don't have children. So you can't really have Votann Genestealer Cult. They're just an entire clone race with slight genetic modification. They can modify and get rid of any Purestrain DNA within them. There was a whole thing about, oh, the Tau have found a way around the Genestealer Cult. We can't Genestealer Cult Tyranids. Who else is there? I mean, Chaos is basically human. Space Marines, depending on the book you read, have some resistance to having... Well, they don't have children. It seems they, like, swapped the gonads for just more testosterone. You don't need these. Have, like, pure, unadulterated testosterone injectors. So they don't have children, and the gene seed probably can't be corrupted like that. Sometimes you can have, like, oh yeah, they got hypnotized by a Genestealer in a Genestealer cult. That's what happened with the size of the Emperor chapter when they were getting destroyed by High Fleet Behemoth. That sounds right. Necrons don't reproduce. So many of these are just completely asexual. Eldar and Drukhari, well, Drukhari tend to clone themselves. Some of them have children, but maybe they're more at risk of a Genestealer cult. I can definitely see some of them being like, hey, we infected this Dark Eldar with a Genestealer, and now they've had a Genestealer cult baby. Isn't that freaky? Put it in the arena. That's how that would go. The Eldar are really psychically attuned, so they can tell when something is off, so they stop Genestealer cult things. Battle Sisters, they're not necessarily celibate, but you have to be recruited through the Scholia Progenium, and anything Scholia Progenium seems to be outlawed in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, so that's a no. Same with, like, Custodes and the Mechanicus. And any of the Grey Knight stuff. Demons, you can't infect demons. So we're basically left with just the humans. That's it. You're painting Neophytes right now. Cool. Genestealer Cult Eldar. Is there a story? Cool. If there's a story, that's great. So many times I find, like, the authors didn't even check their own past work to explain what is happening with the Genestealer Cult. No, the Tau had the whole thing, but yeah. There was a story, I think it's in the Tau Codex, might be, that they were like, yeah, that fixes it. Agents of the Imperium, they could be, some of them. Fraternus Militia types. That could work. Genestealer Cult Kroot. Ah, now the Kroot do eat Genestealers, potentially, infect the DNA. That's why they have the Flesh Shapers, one of the Shapers, who says, okay, don't eat them. You're not allowed to eat them, because it'll mess with our DNA. So there may be Genestealer Cult Kroot, and they are with the Kroot, or there may be more Genestealer Cult Kroot, and they are under the sway of the Hive Mind. Who's to say? Genestealer Cult Cat People, definitely. Definitely. Ooh, Perkysaurus is doing the 70 Battle Sister stratagem. Wonderful. Yeah, the Kroot get told not to eat Tyranid stuff. Even if they're hungry. But if it's a cult, they might not know that it's Tyranid related. They might just think, wow, these are weird humans. Or they may be told, no, those are mutant humans, don't eat them, because Aberrants maybe come from being born in the middle of a warp storm, maybe because of horrible genetic stuff being mixed with radiation, or because science. You have the Biophagus who messes with science. And you deliberately create Aberrants. Right. Okay, we'll talk about Metamorphs. They're a different thing. Metamorphs are requested. Metamorphs. Just drop you there for the moment. So, the Metamorphs, they're kind of mutant-y. Their idea is they come from the Tyranids' hive fleet is getting close, so this activates the cult, and a bunch of acolytes generate weird mutations that they didn't know they had within them all along. Their DNA is changed, they have claws and tentacles and stuff. It can also happen when the cult is under great stress. That was something they added, so that if the hive fleet isn't nearby, then you can still have Metamorphs. And that's where, like, the cult has been discovered, or the cult is going to rise up. Stuff like that. I think of them more as, like, I like the rules as first generation hybrids being separate to second generation hybrids, because last edition, 9th edition, there was a stratagem where acolytes could advance and charge. That would let you have, because it was something like, yeah, they're the first generation after the Genestealers, so that's why they get the advance and charge. We don't do that now. We scout. Scout is good. I love a truck, then a truck can scout. Then when the Metamorphs are getting out of the truck, they will have full rerolls to wound from their hand flamers if they shoot the same thing that the truck shot. That is great for fighting any kind of infantry, and then in combat, they are adaptable. They can have 5 attacks at strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage, or 3 attacks at strength 5, AP -1, 2 damage. So you can kill Space Marines, or you can kill hordes of, like, little things. I found against Orks, because I needed to do a test thing, because tomorrow I'm at an event, and there's almost certainly going to be Orks, because this event was organised before the Mordaka change came in, so we're using the original Mordaka. So I'm guessing there's Orks. I found that having the 5 attacks wounding on 5s is going to be better than having 3 attacks wounding on 4s with 2 damage, because you don't need the 2 damage, because unless they have Feel No Pains, which the Beast Snagger boys do, you usually don't need that. Yeah, the Metamorphs are okay. They're okay. Do I also play Kill Team, Brood Brothers? I've kind of given up on Kill Team. I don't have the time to play many games, and if I'm going to play other war games, I'd rather they were non-Games Workshop games just to be different. Play a little bit of Old World, and I recently found out that one of my, like, comment things about the Old World went and got spread on message boards, which was a series of I play Skaven, everyone ran away, every weapon team misfired, the gutter runner team didn't turn up, the assassin got killed by a peasant champion. Damn Clan Molder, how dare they do this to me? So that was fun. Yeah, so I haven't really played Kill Team this edition. I prefer to play like a small game of 40k, which takes 1.5 hours to 2 hours, rather than a game of Kill Team, which takes 1.5 to 2 hours. Played some boarding actions, especially when White Dwarf gave away free things for boarding actions. There hasn't been much this edition. I'm sure there's been a couple of things like time-related missions. They were fun. Having rotating boards. Rotating the boards around is fun in boarding actions. So yeah, I played some boarding actions. Only Battle Sisters in boarding actions. I've never played the Genestealer Cult in boarding actions. Maybe I should, but their detachment didn't thrill me, other than the, hey, I'm going to have a bunch of scary Genestealers and a Patriarch. Because they have their own detachment. Then you got the Aberrants and Metamorph detachment, then you have the Neophytes and Acolyte detachment. Oh, yeah. Cult of the... I know the story you're talking about, Octolate, with a Battle Sister being infected by Genestealer Cult and, like, spreading religion. No, I don't think she became a Corn Demon. That seems like a different thing. Cult of the Mind Hive? There was a book. Maybe C.L. Werner did it? Yeah, that was in a book, but it's like Battle Sisters against Genestealer Cult. And I think the Iron Warriors turn up at one point. But never mind. We caught up with chat. Space Hulk's also fun. Yeah. It's basically Space Hulk. Right, Metamorphs. They can hurt Toughness 9 vehicles with their Strength 5 attacks, then they're winning on 5s. They have Surge moves, which is really useful. It means the enemies will stay 6 inches away from you. If you are on an objective, they won't come onto an objective with you in case they don't kill you. Or, like, they kill if they've got like 2 units paired up ready to shoot you to death, 1 unit has to do it. It's why I like auto pistols, but the more I've played it, yeah, the hand flamers are better. You just get actual shooting rather than, hey, I'm going to fire 6 pistols that hit on a 4+. That's it. They're strength 3. Nothing else. That's it. Cult of the War Mason. Thank you, Herman. Yeah. So hand flamers may be better. And you get D6 surge move. That's still alright. What happens to a cult when their high fleet is destroyed? Not a lot. That has happened many times. Sometimes the cult rises up by themselves, and then the high fleet isn't going to arrive because their high fleet has been destroyed beforehand. Or they just wither away for like waiting generation after generation for a high fleet that isn't going to come. And eventually they get found out and wiped out, which is more often what happens. Though Games Workshop is pushing the Genestealer Cult a lot more in like side narratives. Yeah, a lot of like, hey, yeah, the Genestealer Cult are a big thing in the Chalnath sector, which is mainly Tau, Battle Sisters, Genestealer Cult. Yep. Did someone make some comment about Metamorphs? Love the many Metamorph attacks. Metamorphs and Locusts with free heroic intervention? Oh yes. I like doing that. That's how I have it, maybe with Acolytes, but as long as you've got the Locusts and the free heroic intervention in the Brood Brothers Auxilia. I think that's the detachment that has the free heroic intervention enhancement. Yeah, that's a good one. So I like putting them with a Metamorph. Yeah, put a Locust with Metamorphs. Sometimes I put them with Acolytes. Or with Metamorphs, I have a Biophagus or a Locust. I rarely do any other character. I can't think of any other character that would go well with them. Which other characters can they have? They can probably have most characters. You can't double up on characters in the Metamorph squad, just with Acolytes or Neophytes. Iconward's alright. 4+ feel no pain, still can scout. No point having a Benefictus, no point having a Clamavus, Magus, or not really a Nexus. Primus for rerolls to hit? Okay. But if you have a Biophagus in the Biosecting Brood Surge, you get more attacks, you get +1 on your charge. If you're in the Final Day detachment and you're attacking something near a near a Tyranid unit, then you get +1 to hit. So you're hitting on 2s, and then if the Biophagus uses their once per game ability, you could potentially be wounding on 2s as well. That's a lot of hits. That's super cool. That's super cool. Right, where do we want them? I mean, there's no point getting the Benefictus because it's lethal hits at range, which on Hand Flamers won't work because Hand Flamers auto hit and auto pistols. Wow, my auto pistol auto hit. I mean, auto wounded, so take a save at 1 damage with no AP. Ooh, think of getting Space Crusade. You should get Space Crusade. Space Crusade is an amazingly fun game. It is basically the game that got me into 40k. Yeah, it's great. It's great. We replace all the models except Chaos Androids and Dreadnoughts? Yeah, you could do that. You can absolutely do that. I've used the Chaos Space Marines from Space Crusade in my Chaos Space Marine army. It's fun. It's a missile launcher, it's some bolters and a combi weapon champion. Yeah. Right, where are we putting the Metamorphs? I'm thinking somewhere high. Not S tier, because I don't think they're needed in every detachment. They work pretty good in the Outlander Claw. They work okay in Final Day. They need the Biophagus to work in Biosector Brood Surge. They're good in the Xenocree Congregation. They're also good in the Host of Ascension. Brood Brothers Auxilia only with the Locust and that enhancement. Any opinions? Otherwise I'm thinking A tier. Should you paint Neophytes orange or blue? I mean, whatever contrasts better with like their armor. Or the opposite way around. You want a good contrast between their suit and their face. So if you've got like a pale face color, bright orange jumpsuits are good. If you have a more red color for like their crest and ridgy things, then I go with a paler colour for the suit. Yeah. People are saying A tier. I'm happy to say A tier for that. A tier it is. Alright, what are our preferences for the next unit? Anything at all. Whatever you want. And bright orange, you know, looks like a jumpsuit. It's the kind of thing a worker would use in high-vis areas. Benefictus next. Atalan Jackals. Acolytes with mining tools. All good options. Right, I'm just going to change my lighting around a bit. You can pick some more things. Alright, let's maybe make a poll of it. Start a poll. Next. Benny. Purestrains. Rockgrinder. What are the other options? Acolytes with mining tools. Okay. There's a thing to click a button on. Yeah, it's okay about avoiding the direct sunlight. There is no sunlight at 10 to 8 in the UK. We don't have that. Yellow jumpsuits like the canaries from Red Dwarf. Yeah, I mean, Red Dwarf is fun. I liked Red Dwarf. Rockgrinder is the winning one at the moment. That's alright, I think I can... Oh yeah, that's definitely winning at the moment. Many people going for Rockgrinder. Sure. Right, we'll do the Rockgrinder next. Risen theme, so orange Nexus with a blue Primus? Yeah, having the characters a different colour will make them stand out, because so many of them look exactly the same as everyone else they're leading. Like, think of the Acolyte Iconward next to Acolytes. It just looks like another guy with a banner. I think they're on the same base size and everything, so they're essentially the same. So having them in different coloured armour really makes them stand out. Like the Biophagus, having them in white compared to everyone else looks good. Where's my notes on the Rockgrinder? Here we are, right. Tell you what, I will do the regular truck first, and then I'll do the Rockgrinder, because they're basically the same. Now, the regular truck has a special ability so that you get to reroll wound rolls if you shoot the same thing that the unit that disembarks that shoots the same thing as the truck, as long as the truck got at least one hit with one of their weapons against it, then that unit gets to reroll all wound rolls. That's okay for the Neophytes. It's really good for the Metamorphs with hand flamers and a few others. You could get your Reductus Saboteur out and throw, well, grenades, then a demolition charge. You also have the indirect bombs you can also fire. All of these are good. The truck having a demo cache is nice, but because of blast we can't use it against enemies that charge us through big guns never tire. It's a 6-inch range, you're getting very close to the enemy. If anyone's ever tried to play the more recent current version of the fire detachment, the Battle Sister fire detachment, Bringers of Flame. Yeah, 6 inches is really, really close to the enemy. So it doesn't often get used that much. But the autocannon's nice. I mean, the truck isn't doing much that we don't get from Deep Strike. It can keep a unit safe, get you on the board. Yeah, you're going to have a shorter charge than 9 inches away. We have some shenanigans to get around that, like Host of Ascension has 1 enhancement. That means once per game you get +2 to the charge. The Biocycling Brood Surge, the detachment rule gives you +1 to the charge on certain units. There's a stratagem to get even more bonuses to the charge roll. But in other detachments, like the Outlander Claw, Final Day, Xenocreed, definitely in Xenocreed, Scout Forward, Jump Out with Metamorphs, Advance and Charge, you can get into the enemy deployment zone in turn 1. It's fun, you just need to do damage to the right things. That's where it often becomes a problem. If the enemy can screen you well enough, it doesn't do so good, which is why you need to kill him with the hand flamers and that truck special ability. But it's good for keeping a unit safe. If you love vehicle lists, hey yeah, now Neophytes essentially have demo charges, and you get a lot more guns for your firing deck. It has uses in other detachments, but it's really good in the Outlander Claw. I'm thinking, do I want to put it in C tier because of Outlander Claw? No, I think it can probably go in B tier. War Games exclusive Cult Limousine. Is that the flying car version? Because I think I've seen that one. And I think I really like it. And I think maybe I want one. Let me have a look. Is it called... yeah, like the Grav Car Limo? That's fun. I mean, that's what you want a cult truck to be. To make it the limousine. Which wasn't something that came out as a model, but it was something that people could kit bash. Right. The music goes hard. Is the music too loud? I can lower the music if you like. But I'm thinking the cult truck is going to go in B tier. Because it's good. It works best in the Outlander Claw, but it's pretty good in other detachments. So we're popping that in B tier. Unless there's going to be mass protest in the chat, but I don't think there is. Alright, now I'll do the Rockgrinder because it is very, very similar. It's also a transport. It transports a smaller unit. It can't scout because it's not a dedicated transport. I know some people remember me thinking that it could, but that happened like 1.5 years ago, so let it go. It's not a dedicated transport, so it can't scout. It's a place to put a 5-man Acolyte demolition team. Pop out, throw demo charges. Goliath Truck also throws demo charges. The problem is I want my Acolyte demo team just deep striking. And with hand flamers. Yeah, that's probably fine. And also, like, if you're turning up by deep strike, you can be in the enemy's deployment zone immediately. Appear in the corners, the board, in ruins, whatever secondary mission you have in whatever mission pack it has. Then you can complete that. Oh, you can have big guns on the Rockgrinder. You have the heavy mining laser, which is my preference. Or you can have the big seismic cannon. Or you can have the Inferno clearance big flamer. 2d6 flamer. Pretty sure it gets 2d6 attacks. Goliath Rockgrinder. Check my codex book, which I have in front of me. Clearance incinerator. 12-inch range, 2d6 shot, strength 6 -1. It's a decent heavy flamer. Don't know if we need that. That's maybe a good choice. Or you've got a 6-shot seismic cannon. Or you have the mining laser, which is D3. Problem is, with the mining laser, you have the mining laser on the Ridgerunner, which is cheaper. The Rockgrinder is our toughest tank, but it doesn't have the toughness to just charge up the board. If you want tough tanks, you need to have the the Brood Brothers Auxilia, and maybe get a super heavy, maybe get a Shadow Sword, maybe fire a massive damage 12 shot. That's fun. I think the Rockgrinder is a worse transport because the truck gives you a useful bonus for the unit getting out, then you get the reroll wound rolls. Even if you have a combat unit like the Aberrants, they don't get any special bonus from the truck special rule, but they also don't get any bonus from the Rockgrinder. The regular truck can carry more models. The regular truck is cheaper. It's like 85 points compared to 120 points for the Rockgrinder. So now I'm wondering, is it going to be C tier because, hey, it works alright in the Outlander Claw detachment? Never seen anyone take the Benefictus. Oh, never seen anyone take the Flamer. Optional. Tank Shock, it's toughness 10. So you're going to do 3 mortal wounds? That's not that great. No, because it's based on toughness now rather than strength. Yeah, because we were strength 10, and you got bonus ones if your strength was higher than the toughness. The way that the impact hits worked earlier in the edition. Now it's just your toughness 10, you roll 10 dice, you need 5s. It's some mortal wounds. You can do that with other things. It's got a good melee profile compared to other vehicles. It has 8 attacks, strength 10. It's damage 2. If I want to kill enemy vehicles, we have acolytes with mining tools. You can have, for 10 more points, 10 acolytes with mining tools. And then you get 12 attacks at least, because detachments can boost you up. 12 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding vehicles on 4s, damage 3. I think there's a lot of reason not to have the Rockgrinder. I thought Paragon Warsuits could be able to tank shock, because they are walkers. And I think tank shock, core stratagems. Show me the core stratagems. Tank shock, I'm sure it mentions tank shock. Oh yeah, vehicle units only. Well, yeah, the Paragon Warsuits are vehicles. So they should be able to still do it. They're not big infantry, and they're not mounted, even though mounted might be about right. Alright, I'll do as a poll, because I'm feeling more and more D tier with the Rockgrinder, the more I think about it. But people want to say C tier, which is under my scheme and system I'm using. That's where it's good in one detachment. So that's where, yeah, it'd be good in the Outlander Claw detachment. That would work. I don't know if flyers can tank shock. Is there an exception for flyers? I guess you could tank shock with a flyer. Yeah, why not? Why not? It's good distraction kind effects. We are lacking a distraction kind effects, because we can't actually take a kind effects. We don't have penitent engines. It's expensive as a distraction kind effects. 120 points. That's... Oh, we're not quite at 20 Neophytes, but almost there. Okay, Outlander Claw puts it in C tier. I'll put it in C tier. Chat has spoken. Two Abominants and a Rockgrinder. That's an option. When I have my Abominants, let's do the Abominants next, because, you know, why not? Why not indeed? Then I prefer to have my Abominants come on from Deep Strike alone, or we can jump out of a regular kind of truck. I know Rockgrinder would mean you're charging in with some strength 10 attacks from the Rockgrinder, and you've got the big hammer next to you. I'm okay with just the big hammer. Rather than having a Rockgrinder, I would also have a third Abominant. If it's a tactic that's worked for you, awesome. But I prefer to just have the Abominants by themselves. It's awfully pricey. Flyers can tank shock. Interesting. Yep, makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Flyers rules, yeah. Maybe next edition Games Workshop just go, we do not know what we were doing with flyers. We never had. They go in Legends. Right. So the Abominant, let's put them on the screen. Hey look, it's Big Hammer Lady with her dungarees. So, Abominant. Abominant can function without the Aberrants. I am far more likely to take the Abominant than the Aberrants, and not just because it's become a meme in the community. My community. Which is you guys! You're my community, my lovely community. So the Aberrants want a character leading them, but the Abominant can be by themselves. They can pop up alone in the enemy deep strike, pop up with deep strike in the enemy deployment zone, because it's very hard to screen out one model on a 40mm base. Yeah, 40mm base sounds right. Whereas they may be able to do 5 32mm bases or 10 25mm bases. So it's really good for completing secondary missions. Then you smash things. You just run around smashing things with your 4 combat las cannon attacks. And when you get put down, you get back up again on a 2+, much like Celestine. So the Abominant is hard to keep down, and the enemy has to be good at shooting and combat to get rid of her in one turn. Otherwise, you're shooting her, putting her down, we get a whole turn of doing stuff, and then the turn afterwards, you're shooting again. Oh, aircraft in the flyer mode? Maybe it depends on the aircraft and what mode they're in, whether hover mode or not. Oh, the Abominant is extra tanky because we're toughness 6, 5 wounds, with a 5+ feel no pain, and when you get back up, you're on full health. If you were leading a unit, you get to fight on death, with that model and everyone else. Yeah, you get knocked down and get back up again. 9 las cannon. They have 4 attacks, don't they? So that'd be 12 las cannon shots with 3 Abominants. Obviously, the Biosanctic Brood Surge treats them best. Then you've got things like Saintly Paroxysm, so you cause 2 d3 mortal wounds when you die. And that can also be paired with you fight on death. And also you get back up again and can do it a second time. Oh. Oh yeah, in the index it was 3 attacks and sustained hits was the special ability. I preferred sustained hits over fight on death on a 4+. Because if you remember the Metamorphs from the index, they would fight on death on a 3+. It didn't really do a lot. Yeah. So we're doing a lot. Good damage, good resistance. Best in Biosanctic Brood Surge for the bonuses to charge, and leading Aberrants, and just being great with all of the enhancements, like bonus damage, bonus AP enhancement, infiltrating enhancement with a unit. Really good. I don't think I've ever used the Abominant in the Final Day detachment. +1 to hit and charging in would be really good. If you charge in gargoyles first, you get reroll charge rolls with one of the stratagems. Like save the Tyranids, save the Star Gods, something like that. You could try and come from reserve with that. Maybe not. It might be in bonuses to the charge roll. Yeah, it's okay. I think I prefer Big Hammer Lady to 5 Acolytes for completing secondary missions, unless I'm like trying to clear a weakly held objective, something with like Chaos Cultist on it, 10 Imperial Guardsmen, something like that. I really need to use the Abominant more. Every time I think about it, she's great. And so many units do similar things that I can just have more Abominants. Yeah, that's a good thought. Yeah, Biosanctic Brood Surge is Twisted Helix themed, which had their own, hey, we're going to try and make our humanity better and deliberately inject ourselves with all the Tyranid DNA. Yeah, that didn't go well, of course, but they're interesting as a freaky science scheme. Why is it she? Just because I've decided Big Hammer Lady is good. The model I have that's a conversion, I put like a sports bra on them, which is painted on. And it looked about right with like the scars and the ridges. It looked like there was a perfect line. I also thought like with the dungarees, it has very like farm girl, like American farm girl vibe. Either way, I know maybe it's more of a like Frankenstein's monster is the theme. But either way, country girl, whatever you want. Right, the more I'm thinking about it, maybe Abominant is A tier. I'll let you decide. So, Abominant, we have A tier, we have B tier, and I'll put in C tier if you think only take an Abominant in the Biosanctic Brood Surge. Thinking A tier. I mean, A for Abominant sounds right. If you wanted to do like the American West as a theme, you have Abominants and you have Kelermorphs. She's the only person who can kiss you and watch TV at the same time. Because of like the 2 faces. Gemini is a theme. Gemini is the one with the 2 heads. Or is it Virgo? No, Gemini. Gemini sounds right. Yeah. Bare minimum, Abominant is a good choice in every detachment, and a monster in the one suited for her. I can't think of, other than Biosanctuary Brood Surge, where you would want the Abominant though. Because I've never tried Final Day with her. Brood Brothers Auxilia and Host of Ascension are more shooting. Yeah, you can have +2 to charge with Host of Ascension. I would want the Aberrants with her, and we'll talk about Aberrants in a moment, why I think they're not as good. Xeno Creed is just Acolytes, Metamorphs, Neophytes. Outlander Claw in a truck. Yeah, she could be one of the characters in a truck, like, surprise, big hammer. Just riding along with Neophytes and maybe a Reductus. That's a lot of models and units in one place. Then you could feed them to the enemy one at a time. And depending on the enemy, you can either shoot them with Neophytes, with full rerolls to wound, hit them with a Reductus, or hit them with the Aberrant. I mean, Abominant. Learning the alphabet. Okay, good in Final Day. Yeah. Well, we're already hitting on 3s, so we'll be hitting on 2s. Yeah. We'll see what the... Okay, we'll do the Aberrants next. I think we've decided A tier is where our big hammer lady is going to go. Alright, so the Aberrants. They can be tough. They can function without the Abominant, but you only get the -1 to wound ability if you have a character with them. And it only works against things that are stronger than Strength 6, so you can survive without characters. You take just as much damage from small arms fire, which is not a lot because you have a Feel No Pain of 5+. If they had the -1 to be wounded ability all of the time, then they would be far more reliable, far more cool and survivable. They're not quite the Index version. They went down so much compared to the Index. Because in the Index, we had Strength 8 and Damage 3, if that's what I remember correctly. Certainly Damage 3, because I was like slapping Custodes out the way. Now it's Strength 7 and Damage 2, at which point I want more attacks with the Metamorphs, who are versatile enough to switch into other things. Because Strength 7, Strength 5, yeah, that's going to matter against Toughness 6 things. There's not that many Toughness 7 units I can think of. And when it comes to anything higher, Metamorphs and Aberrants are wounding the same. Aberrants are about the same cost as 10 Metamorphs, but just 5. Metamorphs are... let me remember their points. Now let's get the points document up. 160 points for the Metamorphs, whereas the Aberrants are 135 points for 5. They had a slight points reduction for 5, yeah. They could be in a transport, they could infiltrate, definitely infiltrate in the Biosanctuary Brood Surge, because there's one of the enhancements, Predatory Instincts. That's the one that we had in the Index. That's what made them so good. Then you have an Abominant or a Biophagus with them, and you hurt things. You tie up the enemy. You stop them from getting out of their deployment zone, and the Aberrants are hard to shift in that one detachment. If you can't infiltrate with them, it's a lot different. Then you have to Deep Strike and try and get a charge off. You could in the Host of Ascension with our Times 9 enhancement, but then the question is, why them? Why not Metamorphs? Why not Acolytes with mining tools, who still are damage 3 with AP -2 attacks? And they're cheaper. 10 Acolytes is 130 points. 5 Aberrants is 135 points. I think they still need a points drop to get better. Otherwise it's, yeah, they're really quite good in the Biosanctuary Brood Surge. They can Deep Strike, they can sit on objectives and be difficult to shift, but that is not ideal. They don't have any ranged weapons, so they don't suit the Brood Brothers Auxilia or massively suit the Host of Ascension, because you need to succeed at that charge. You can rapid ingress, and you should be rapid ingressing as many times as you can in the Host of Ascension. Then you get sustained hits with your attacks. It's a lot of resurgence points to bring them back, and they really do need a character to work. I'm thinking with the Aberrants... Okay, we've got B tier, we've got D tier. D tier is meant to be really bad. So C tier is where you have they're good in one detachment. Yeah, Abominant or Biofigures. Then you get lethal hits, but the strength already should mean you're wounding on 3s. Less necessary to have the lethal hits. I like the sustained hits we got in the index. Okay, Aberrants. I think we'll go with B, C. Okay, we'll add D tier, but D tier is this is awful. Do not include. D for do not include. More likely to take a Rockgrinder than Aberrants, so C makes sense. What with, you know, the Biosancted Brood Surge. And that's about it. Yeah, good in that one detachment, mediocre for the price everywhere else. Alright, we're happy with C tier. I'm also happy with C tier. That's where I want to put them. Wonderful. Okay. Let me check the charity thing. Ooh, we have... Goodness me, we have many more. Oh yeah, we have many more donations. Okay. Let me just... I'm hoping this won't disappear. Oh, and just overwrite. There we go. You come down. Sorry, chat, you're going to get ahead for a second. We have raised for the charity for homeless people in the UK £311 so far. Thank you. So we have an anonymous amount for an anonymous person. Kadri says, great cause of support, sending monies from Detroit. Thank you for the $20 US. Bilbo Stomper. Bilbo Stomper is fighting the oppressors for 10 monies plus another £2.50 in gift aid. Thank you. And another anonymous person has left a donation. That's great. So, looks like at the end of this stream I am giving £303.77. Awesome. This can of course go much higher. So we'll be getting, I mean my aim was to get £500 between me and all of you. But if we're already on what is going to be £619, that's really good. If anyone else wants to add money to this and help to fund homeless kids in the UK to have a home and somewhere safe and people to help talk to them and make things better in life, there's a link in the description to the Albert Kennedy Trust. It's the first, yeah, there should be the first link. It's justgiving.com. Christian von Carmian helps the homeless. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm super proud of you all. Okay, we'll pop that back up there. We've done the Aberrants. So, tell me what you want next. I know we had many options from before. And we still have so many to do. We had mention of the Acolyte hybrids with their mining tools. Purestrains, we can do Purestrains. Yeah, the Magus. Yeah, the Magus is like a big character. Purestrains, I'm seeing Purestrains several times. Well, at least twice. So we will do Purestrain Genestealers. The real part of it. I mean, everyone should have Genestealers. If you get a Space Hulk box, that is so many Genestealer models. So many Genestealer Cult models. No, so many Genestealers. Just pure Purestrains. These are a very good unit. They can... Where's my Purestrain? Hello. Pop up here for a bit. They can infiltrate. That is really possible. Get up the board immediately. Well, get in the way of enemy infiltrators. Claw your way through enemy infiltrators. You are a good screen to stop them rushing forward and hitting more dangerous, well, our more dangerous things in... I'm trying to think of a detachment where you would want to not just start in the mid-board, because Biosancted Brood Surge, Final Day, and Outlander Claw can all start like in the middle of the board. So Brood Brothers Auxilia, stop you clawing at enemy tanks. That is good. I think I have Purestrains in all detachments. In the Outlander Claw, the bikes do something very similar. And if you don't have Purestrain Genestealers, infiltrating characters can also do the work in other detachments. Actually, now I think about it, even in the Outlander Claw, I want some Genestealers. I'm pretty sure in my 1000 point list, I had 2 units of bikes and a unit of Purestrain Genestealers. Yeah. They're really good in the Biosanctum Brood Surge. 5 attacks each, +1 to the charge. Just horrifying claws. Add a Patriarch, and then you can have devastating wounds. 50 attacks, hitting on 2s, all of the time. Devastating wounds. In Final Day, you add them, well, it's more the Patriarch. Then you have an Enhanced Patriarch. You could do it in Host of Ascension as well. Then you have Sustained Hits. But in the Final Day detachment, you also have a stratagem to do full rerolls to wound. So you can get those devastating wounds. They're really useful. I know they don't have Lone Operative, but they have way more wounds than any of our Lone Operative characters. I think they're either going to be A, or they will be B. Purestrains, of course I'll leave it up to you to decide. From the limited options I've suggested, because they're so good in many detachments, I don't think they're going to be C tier, which is only work in one detachment. And they're definitely not D tier, because they can do so much. I have clawed my way through many hordes of like Termagants, Chaos Cultists, regular Guardsmen. Any of them, you just pulp them, because your claws are AP -2. AP -2 means no save for a 5+ save model. I think they can do it. Oh, no, they don't do as well against Orcs because they're winning on 5s. Similar for Votann. Votann can be a pain. But if you just tie up like their scouty people or their infiltrator people, that's fine. It's kind of hard to get through 10 wounds when your 5+ invulnerable save is there. Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to go for the Patriarch next. Obviously. Yeah, you can't think of a list where I wouldn't want to have some of them. Very good. In that case, maybe they should be S tier. What was my different rankings and ratings? I had said S tier is always include for all detachments. Ooh, maybe S tier. Okay, let me just do the poll again, and I'll include S tier as an option. S tier is number 1, A tier, and I will give B tier as an option. Purestrains are one of the best units in the game. I mean, they are different at least to the Tyranids Genestealers, because they're scout and do something pop up from a hole, which kind of is called ambush, but not quite. Yeah, Purestrains, 10 Purestrains are really good. I mean, you want to tie up something, you want to claw your way through something. I keep having bad luck with them where I'll hit a tank and I will get 90% of the way through the tank, and that tank will survive and then does some damage to us, and I didn't like that. And it's like, well, what did I do with this Purestrains? I didn't wipe out the enemy. So even with like Final Day bonuses, even with Biosanctum Brood Surge bonuses and rerolling wounds and all the stuff with devastating wounds, you want to go for light infantry, and then they tear through them like tissue paper. Or tissue paper. Any kind of paper. Okay, that looks like an S tier to me. They're an S tier unit. So naturally, we have to go on to the Patriarch. Let's bring up the Patriarch. Hello, Patriarch. We'll just leave you in B tier for the moment. Oh, we'll put you up there. We'll put you up there for now, next to the Purestrain Genestealers in S tier. Now, the Patriarch is not great in many detachments. Adding devastating wounds is about all they do, and they can only join the Purestrain Genestealers. When you have... I mean, I keep thinking Host of Ascension. Maybe Host of Ascension. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to play a game at some point. Host of Ascension, Patriarch. I've done it before and I infiltrate, which isn't what you want to do in the Host of Ascension. You want to come from reserves. Maybe it's good if I can Rapid Ingress them. Then yes. Maybe. But Outlander Claw, you could put them in a truck. They can travel in a truck now, which they couldn't do in the Index. Yeah, they could go alone. Don't really want to have them alone. I know the 4+ invulnerable save is nice. You can only have one Patriarch. They're not an epic hero, but they have the Supreme Commander rule, so you can only have one of them, and they must be the Warlord. Toughness 5 is not great. I really want them to be Toughness 6. Their ability is Cosmic Horror, so you can cause battle shock tests in the fight phase, which is not the same as, say, actually turning off stratagems if you were in engagement range with an enemy. If we had that, so much better. Enemies can't use, like, Hard as Nails. They can't do Armor of Contempt. None of that. Oh, you want to resist mortal wounds? Devastating wounds? No, not allowed. 6-inch aura so it can help other units, but you're not really charging in with other units except in the final day. And then you probably want to have your, like, Lictor, your Von Rhein's Leapers charge the same thing as the Patriarch. It's not a great ability. It's like, hey, we're kind of psychic, we're kind of a Tyrannid. But in the Biosanctuary Brood Surge, then you have +1 AP and +1 damage as an enhancement. So AP 3, damage 3. That's nice. You can make it AP 4 with a Ridgerunner. That's the Biomorph Adaptation Enhancement. I don't think they need anything else from the Biosanctuary Brood Surge. But in Final Day, they would want Enraptured Damnation, so no Overwatch, or far more likely, Inhuman Integration to have sustained hits 1, as long as they are attacking an enemy within 6 inches of a friendly Tyrannid unit. So that's why you want other Tyrannid units infiltrating as well. Yeah, then you have the reroll wound rolls, then you have so many devastating wounds. Now the Patriarch already rerolls their own wound rolls because they have twin linked. That's something to remember for any detachment. Right, I'm thinking... now... C tier maybe, because I'm only going to take them in 1, maybe 2 detachments. B tier is where they're overshadowed, where there's something else that does it better. You know, like if it wasn't for this one other unit, they would be A tier. So I think they're going to be C tier because there's so few detachments. It is a third of the detachments, but if you haven't got Tyrannid models, you're not going to play Final Day. Whereas if you have Purestrains and Genestealers, if you have Purestrain Genestealers and a Patriarch, you can still do a really good Biosanctuary Brood Surge without Aberrants. I think they're going to be C tier. It's just for those detachments. Then they're like, hey, I'm an A tier unit. Alright, pick something else. And while you're picking something else, I'll just mention the charity again. Because this is a charity livestream, and I do like getting as much money as possible from all willing people to give money to the Albert Kennedy Trust through the Just Giving link in the description. That supports homeless people in the UK, gives them services and help which may have been denied to them earlier. And you've all done amazingly so far with the amount of money raised thus far. Have I said I'm super proud of you? Because I'm super proud of you. It's nice of you to, help in a charity that I care about. I mean, some people had donated before the live stream had even started, so I'm wondering where people found out about that. Is it just that it was on my Discord? Is it because you saw that it was up and were like, hey, oh, yeah, that's that thing in the description with a trailer saying this is a charity live stream? I have a Facebook account now. I made one of them. I'm only... 15, 20 years behind Facebook being popular, but I have a Facebook account now. And I posted it on the Facebook account. So it'd be good to know where you saw where I had things. Right, we're doing the Ridgerunner then. Do Super Chats add to the charity? No, Super Chats only add to me. if you want a super chat money to go to the charity, say so in the super chat, then the money that goes to me, I will put to the charity. Otherwise, it's the link in the description to give the money to the charity. Thank you. And already I see we have Chernobyl Cat has given 10 more monies. Thank you, Chernobyl Cat. And an anonymous person has given another £5. Thank you. So that puts us on £326 plus my own £303.77. That £377 from a previous super chat. Alright, Ridgerunner. Yes, Ridgerunner should be quick, as you would expect. That's a Metamorph in A. That's a Metamorph with the weird neck thing. Right, Ridgerunner. Let's get a Ridgerun symbol. Hello, I'm a Ridgerunner. You know which place we're going to put this in. I really hope Games Workshop just leaves the Ridgerunner alone, because I can operate without a Ridgerunner, I think, but I don't want to. I don't want to. It's a great bonus. The Crossfire bonus is excellent. It is +1 armor penetration. That works for the rest of the turn. So you do it first in the shooting phase. Any other unit shooting at that same target gets +1 AP. That means Neophyte shotguns are AP -1. But it also, because it's until the end of the turn, it works in the combat phase. So Purestrains are AP -3. The Metamorphs, AP -2, so they're hitting with claws like as good as a Genestealer Cult Purestrain. But they're either going to get 1 more attack compared to a Purestrain, because they have 5 attacks compared to the 4 of the Purestrains. Oh yes, not forgetting all the extra stuff you can have the Biosanguine Brute Surge, where both of them can get an extra attack if you have a Biophagus with the Metamorphs. Or, you know, you've got damage 2 on the Metamorphs. What else do you get? Yeah, you can have smoke screens so you keep them alive. You can have a spotter, so you get +1 to hit. Well, improves the weapon skill by 1. That's different. That's different. You have a Survey Auger, so you can ignore cover when you're shooting. That's nice. I even have the Survey Auger in the Host of Ascension sometimes. Because while we are coming from reserves, we have ignore cover. But with the denser tournament tables, which I'm going to have to get used to tomorrow, I don't normally play on tournament tables, but I know there's more terrain on them. We'll see how I do. We have ignore cover in the Host of Ascension when we come from reserve, just when we're coming from reserves, so the Ridgerunner can give you that more. I like having ignore cover. With the spotter making your ballistic skill 3+, in the final day, and in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, you can combine that with +1 to hit. So that's the detachment rule of the Brood Brothers Auxilia and the detachment rule of Final Day, Catalyst. So if you shoot something near to a Tyranid unit, you get +1 to hit. That makes for a very strong mining laser. But in the Final Day detachment and the Biosanctuary Brood Surge, where we're infiltrating a lot, maybe also Outlander Claw. No, not in Outlander Claw. I'll just scout forward and shoot a massive mining laser. I have the mortar instead, because firing indirectly, you still get the crossfire bonus. Yes, they are S tier. I don't think anyone is going to dispute the S tier. We've seen some tournament lists with 5s, because you can put 2 of them in the same unit. The unit as a whole gives the crossfire bonus. It's not per model. I'm just double checking it's not per model. Achilles Ridgerunner. After the unit is shot. Yeah, pick a thing. I mean, if you want cheap mining lasers, that works. Relatively cheap mining lasers. Much cheaper, certainly, than the Rockgrinder. Yeah, hitting on 2s. Sustained hits in Host of Ascension? Optional. Any advice on how to hide 2 Ridgerunners? No, but what you do is one of them will have a flare launcher. Because the flare launcher gives you smoke screen for free. And then you'll be -1 to hit because of stealth, and you get the benefit of cover. So that's +1 to your save. That's what you do when there's like 2 of them. And the other one will have a spotter or a survey auger. Yeah, Bearer's unit has this. Bearer's range weapons. Each time the bearer is shot, yeah. That's why you would want 2 in a unit. I don't. I prefer to have them separate because they can still complete actions. they can still hold objectives, like the home objective. If you haven't got Neophytes there, or Acolytes mining for command points, just have a Ridgerunner sit there and keep firing the mortar. We know they're S tier. Okay, give me the next one. And of course they're even better in the Outlander Claw. Then you get a load of stratagems like deft maneuvering, 4+ invulnerable save. You can go off the board and come back on with a stratagem in that detachment. You can have lethal hits, but they're not really firing that much. That's more something you do with the truck and all of the things in the firing deck. Oh yeah, reactive move. You got a reactive move stratagem in the Outlander Claw, so that can help keep you alive. Definitely good in that. Jackal Bikers. I see Jackal Bikers. We can do Jackal Bikers. Jackal Bikers. Now these were one of our many absurdly powerful units in the index. Because the way it worked, every time you moved, you got to throw their demolition charges using their demolition run strategy. No, unit rule. Yeah, demolition run unit rule. So you'd move them, you'd throw demolition charges. You would have the enhancement, what's it called, Prowling Adjutant on a Jackal Alphus. The Jackal Alphus also let you move after shooting, so you do your demolition run, you move the unit. Because the Jackal Alphus has done that, that's an extra move. You throw the demolitions again. In the enemy turn, they move at all. You do a Prowling Adjutant move. You throw the demo things again. Now it is once per turn and only in your shooting phase. Movement phase. Only in your movement phase. Yeah, once per turn in your movement phase. You can do it after advancing or falling back, so that's still cool. Roll a dice for each. It's grenades. It's basically grenades. But the number of dice you roll is the number of models in the unit. So if you have a unit of 10, which I wouldn't suggest, units of 5 are going to be better. Especially when you're trying to find the right place to come on from Cult Ambush. Because they can come back from Cult Ambush, but they have to be within 9 inches of the edge. Now 6 inches of the edge, because it is just outflank. But if you're going to do like the Cult Ambush markers, then you need to be a Cult Ambush marker near the edge of the board. I wouldn't do that. It's a faff. It's silly. And it's hard to fit 10 models around a Cult Ambush marker. Okay, so they've gone down in power. They only do the once per turn demo run. It's only in your turn. They're Scout 9. So if you haven't got any Purestrain Genestealers, if you don't, why not? Please get some. They're really cheap secondhand. Get some like plastic ones from the first edition of Space Hulk. That was a unit of 20. They're all in that pose up on the top left of the screen. Basically that pose. It was a good pose. I like that pose. Just the hands going up and down. If I had hand tracking on, I'm sure it would be doing some crazy stuff right now. Yeah, they can scout. Scout is really useful because you scout after knowing who goes first. So if you go first, you scout forwards. If you're going second, scout nicely behind a building or whatever terrain you've got to get hidden. I think I prefer Infiltrate because you start up the board, you stop enemy infiltrators. It's an option. There's like 5 points between Purestrain Genestealers and Jackal Bikers. They have the same number of wounds, the same toughness. The Jackals have stealth. That's useful, not get hit. You can have a grenade launcher, a couple of mining tools in close combat. Well, power weapons. But they're 2 attack power weapons, whereas the Neophyte power weapons are 1 attack. That's still fine. I like the kit. It has so many different arms. It's a good kit. If you ever think, oh, I need more, I don't know, demo charges for my Acolytes. Hey, there you go. Atalan Jackal kit. Make some. Make a Reductus Saboteur out of bits from the Atalan Jackal kit and some Neophytes. Now you have your Reductus Saboteur. Definitely looks like the same kind of model. Right. I don't think this is a unit that's gonna replace the Purestrains. That's what I'm thinking. Jackal Bikers may be C tier. Okay, tell me in chat. is anyone using them outside of the Outlander Claw. Because I can't think of any clever combos that aren't just you're doing Jackal Bikers in the Outlander Claw, because in the Outlander Claw, then they get sticky objectives. It's a rapid takeover, +1 objective control, and sticky objectives. So if you control an objective at the end of your command phase, then... Oh, is it? Yeah, it's in the command phase. It's in the command phase. Yeah, then you control it until your opponent takes it from you. And you can also do all of the things that you can do in the Outlander Claw. Hey, I've got a 4+ invulnerable save. Hey, I've got lethal hits, if you did want a unit of 10, but you probably don't. You got the Wolf Quad with a mining laser. It's like a mix of like Purestrain Genestealers and Neophytes in one. Okay, no one has any thoughts or comments. Prefer the Flamers. Prefer the Flamers. Alright. Well, I'm thinking of C tier. I'll put them in C tier. I think they're going to be Outlander Claw only. Nowhere else that there's like, oh yeah, I really need my sustained hits from this unit of 5 in the Host of Ascension when I come from reserve and don't do my scouting. So, down to C tier they go. So we have, like I was saying at the start of this stream, the Genestealer Cult are very detachment specific, so it makes sense that C tier, which is they work really well in one detachment, is the most populated one. Now it makes sense, of course, to do the Jackal Alphus next. Yeah, there's no other time where I can think Jackal Alphus is going to be as thematic. So that Jackal Alphus, what do they do? I've tried using them alone. It rarely works. They have no lone operative ability. Oh yeah, the Jackal Bikers will work okay in Brood Brothers if you have, say, the Atalan Rough Riders. Then you can pair them up, get +1 to hit on both units. No, not both units, just the Jackal Bikers. You got Symbiotic Destruction if you want to reroll 1's of wound. Did I ever make a how to expand from the old Genestealer Cult Combat Patrol video? I don't remember. I did a review of the new Combat Patrol where I was like, it's not as bad as people think. I have it on my list, as well as other things that I know you'll like. Several ways to start with the Genestealer Cult army, which should include maybe like the past things. Yeah. Okay, the Jackal Alphus though. I've tried them alone, but they're not a lone operative, so they can be shot. You can get a good angle for shooting because of the speed, but you haven't got good follow-up damage, and the Sanctus Sniper has a better sniper rifle. It's strength 7 compared to the Jackal Alphus strength 5. It's okay. What you could do with them is drive around and score points. It is 55 points for a Jackal Alphus. In the Host of Ascension, or especially in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, you can shoot an enemy unit so that follow-up units re-roll hit rolls of 1. In a shooting detachment, that's going to be good. Oh yeah, very good in Brood Brothers Auxilia. Alex says, thank you for the Genestealer Cult content. Been on the fence for a while, took the plunge, bought the Combat Patrol, Primus and 10 Neophytes. Wonderful. The video I did very recently on the Genestealer Cult, 6 army lists. If it's the most recent Combat Patrol box you got, then I have a army list that's based off 2 of those boxes and some other things. Okay. We have someone that really likes the Jackal Alphus. They do help the Jackals in the Outlander Claw, and a couple of other things. Yeah, okay, I can see how we're edging towards B tier. Maybe I just want to put them in C tier because I don't use them much outside of the Outlander Claw. Even in the Brood Brothers Auxilia, I'm thinking when it comes to the shooting, you can only support the Genestealer Cult units. Your Brood Brothers Imperial Guard will get nothing. However, you can have the enhancement, Martial Espionage, to boost the armor penetration of nearby units. Yeah, you can drive around and do that. Alright, we'll do a quick poll. The Alphus, because I can see a use for them in more than just the Outlander Claw detachment. Alphus is good for coming out of reserves. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. C tier, ooh, quite popular. "30 Jackals do a lot of stuff with the gargoyles in Final Day." What enhancements and stratagems are we getting in Final Day? We have reroll to wounds is only combat. You got resistance tunnels, which you also which is a better version of the one in Outlander Claw. Divine Imperative for bonus charges. I think that's all they've got. They don't do too much other than they will get +1 to hit. In which case, Brood Brothers Auxilia will probably work better for them than the Tyrannid Final Day. Unless you have the Tyrannids and you want to play with Tyrannids, because that's just fun. Okay, we're going with C tier. I think it's about right to go with C tier. Down in C tier we go. Give me your next pick of unit. Otherwise, what have we not done? Okay, we've done a lot of the fast units. We've done all of the things that the Outlander Claw would really want. Yeah, we'll get into that character pile. So, how about the Kelermorph? Yeah, let's do the Kelermorph. Here we are. We're getting our cowboy theme back on. So, go next to the girl with the dungarees. We have, with the Kelermorph, gunslinging stuff. Lone operative, so can complete actions, can infiltrate, can deep strike, costs 60 points. Let me check my list. K for Kelermorph. Yeah, costs 60 points. So a Sanctus is a lone operative and cheaper. Reductus is 5 points more. Wow, yeah, I would just have a Reductus for 5 points more. Unless you are really stretched for points, in which case I would have a Sanctus. I mean, the Reductus has good range, indirect fire, has grenades for free, has a demo charge that hits on a 3+. That's really good demo charge. The Kelermorph has a reactive move to move and shoot, or shoot and move. Which way around is it? Causes battle shock in enemy infantry. Once per turn, when an enemy unit moves within 9 inches, if you're not in engagement range, shoot and then move D6. Or I can have a Sanctus Sniper who always moves D6. No, always moves 6 inches, which is just faster. Kelermorph, there are lots of Kelermorphs out there. Good fun in boarding actions. Yeah, you can shoot and zip around a corner. Okay, I see that. Yeah, depending on points, you pick either the Sanctus or Reductus. So does that mean this guy's going to drop down to D tier? I mean, is there anything he can do that another lone operative can't do better, besides the cowboy aesthetic? In which case, if you want the cowboy westerny aesthetic, we've been making arguments for the Abominant earlier. Nearly twice as... no, only half as many points. 95 points compared to 60. So the Abominant is really good as an option. I'm thinking this guy goes in D tier. The thing about his reactive move, it's only if the enemy's in 9 inches, his lone op range is 12 inches. And unlike the Reductus's demo charge bomb underfoot that blows up from like out of line of sight, you need to be able to see the enemy to shoot them. In which case the Kelermorph is going to be boarding actions only. We're not doing many S's. No, not that many S's. We're putting him in our D tier. The first one to go in D tier. Oh, right, if you're doing it based on looks. You have to like cowboys. My mother is massively into westerns. All of the Ben-Hur films with the actor Ben-Hur, to the point where I thought that Ben-Hur was like James Bond. It's like, oh yeah, there's Ben-Hur again. He's doing more things in the West. He's doing stuff. Oh yeah, he's at the OK Corral. Is that his last one because he dies? Not the OK Corral. Mexican Fort. famous America fight Alamo? I think it was the film The Alamo. Yeah, so I'm really overdone on like anything cowboy. Whereas my dad's really into sci-fi. I showed them Firefly, if you know Firefly the TV series. Because, you know, my dad's into sci-fi, my mum's into western. Hey, there's the perfect combination. And my dad said there was too much cowboy stuff, and my mum said there was not enough cowboy stuff, too much sci-fi stuff. So, just can't please them. No cowboy aesthetic for me. Moving on, let's do the Sanctus, because we've talked about the Sanctus a few times. Right, so the Sanctus, a little bit cheaper than the Reductus. They are 15 points cheaper. They can start on objectives with Infiltrate, they can complete missions, cheaper than a Kelermorph. Very specific use against Psychers, but if there is an enemy Psyker, you're probably not going to do that much damage with the Sniper. Unless they only have 3 wounds. Yeah, no, there's not many with 3 wounds. Most of them have 4 wounds or more. So you want a knife. The knife may be better. The knife means no Overwatch. Or you can have the Sniper Cloak, then you get a 6-inch reactive move. That can get you behind a building, potentially. If the enemy's like, hey, I'm going to come up and take your objective, then we hide. If you don't have the points for Reductus, take the Sanctus. I think this is the perfect example of what a B tier unit is. Abominant is the prospector Kelermorph for Sheriff. Took 3 in the Brood Brothers Auxiliary. Wow, okay. Okay. Now, but the Kelermorph doesn't have... Yeah, the Kelermorph doesn't have any precision. Whereas the Sanctus Sniper has precision. If you have a few of them. So yeah, if all of your lone operatives were the Sanctus, that's not bad. You got stealth, you're annoying to hit for something like Orcs, who are now hitting you on 6s. Yeah, precision attacks with the Biodagger. Anti-infantry 3+ in combat. So you don't get anti-psyker, but you do get anti-infantry. That may be just better for stabbing like characters. But then you're charging... I prefer them with the cloak and the sniper. You get full rerolls to hit and wound. Definitely need that, because I miss all of the time. Like, hey, I wound you on 2s. Nope, rolled a 1. Let's try it again. So, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Right, I'm going to leave them in B tier, because they're definitely a B tier thing. It's like, hey, it's somewhere we've got to have something that's anti-psycho. Why not? Imagine killing several greater demons and resisting at Slanesh, only to get gunned down by a silly man with an extra arm. I think he's only got 2 arms. Yeah, he's only got 2 arms. He's like a 4th generation. Is there a lore thing? Yeah, the dude that's hanging out on the pipe next to him is a psychic spoor tracking familiar who's able to see where psychers are, and so we're better at shooting psychers. Or stabbing psychers. Not stabbing psychers, just shooting psychers. That's why. It's a good character to convert. Pretty easy. All you need is a cloak from somewhere, and there you go. Right, next one. I mentioned the Reductus, so we'll go with Reductus. Then I would love for chat to give me someone else. I'm going to do the Reductus because that should be all of our lone operative characters then. Yeah. Right, Reductus. Where is Bomb Lady? Bomb Lady. Bomb Lady. You pop up there, Bomb Lady. So, our Bomb Lady. We have Infiltrate. Very useful. We have Lone Operative. We have Stealth. We have all the things the Sanctus does, but a bit more points. Assuming you don't roll a 1, you can blow up enemies from behind a building as they come onto an objective you're near. Also, being close to objectives lets you do secondary missions in the first turn. Really useful. If you want to show yourself to the enemy, you have grenades for free. You have a demo charge that hits on a 3+. I'm pretty sure it was 2+ in the index. And I'm pretty sure it was also like strength 8 in the index. No, strength 12. It was strength 12. It was really silly. Not fun. Definitely better, because it also had the plant explosives working at a 12-inch range rather than 9-inch range. So you could actually get closer, shoot her, and yeah. It's only normal move, advanced moves, fallback moves, not charge moves, but hey, it can be a lot of mortal wounds, especially if the enemy is going for something else and they just wander in her way. She can do so much damage. Even when she's not doing stuff, we have remote explosives, indirect fire, d6 plus 3 attacks with blast. That's really annoying for light infantry. Would I want her every time? I know I don't put her in every detachment every time, because if I'm trying to save points, I'll go with the Sanctus instead. Or 10 points more, Purestrain Genestealers. I'll have 5 Purestrain Genestealers who are S tier. Let's have chat decide. So we have Reductus. And it's Reductus rather than Reductress, so you can have a male Reductus, why not? S tier, A tier, or B tier. Because there's no way she's going to be C tier, which is only good in one detachment. Ooh, very split. Very good. Lone ups are good. Seems like you'd want one. Oh, at least one lone operative, definitely. If not the Sanctus, no, if not the Reductus, then who? I'm also going to play with the Reductus in the next game because I like the Reductus. I mean, after the tournament event, I'm going to. Because I've already got my list for that. Oh yeah, I have a Reductus. I have 2 Reductus in my tournament list. Yeah. Super good. Ooh, is it on A tier? We're going with A tier. Alrighty then. A tier it is. This button, that place. There we go. Alright. What's left in the pile? Oh, we have... Oh, so many things. The Primus, the Nexus, 2 kinds of Acolytes, the Benefictus, the Biophagus, the Drill, Big Drill, the Locust, the Clamavus, the Magus, and the Iconward. Many characters to do. Many characters. Right. Now seems also a good time to check what's happening on the charity side. Because my pinging of my phone is telling me that I've had more... You have done more donations to the charity. We have £340 in the charity pile. And we have more comments. Arquix, Quirix, Ax, AXQU. Yeah, that name that's on the screen. Thank you for donating 10 more pounds to help homeless children to have a home in the UK. And Anonymous, help the kids so they're not lured into a life of service to the Emperor. Thank you for the $5 US. That's very kind of you all. So I'm definitely going to be down £300 at the end of this stream. Good! That's what I want. It's a wonderful charity. Thank you for helping. Oop. Let's pop that back up. If you want to add money, then the link to Just Giving is in the description. Can you show your tournament list? Yes, that is something I can do. Don't have a... Maybe I can make an image of it. If I have it typed out. Yeah, if you give me a second, I will put an image of my tournament list on the screen. And I could go through it a little bit. I mean, I wasn't planning on making a video for the tournament, like, as a result. Unless something really fun happened, or it was super weird, then definitely I would make a video on it. If it was, like, something people would enjoy. Because I know people like tournament result things, and it's not just, here's how I lost again. Okay, let's add an image. Let's call it list. Okay, we are looking for that one. There we go. Okay. There it is. That's my tournament list. So we have, in my tournament list, Primus, it's Host of Ascension, if you couldn't tell. Primus with a chink in their armor, leading 20 Neophytes. Hey, look at that, we're getting rerolls to hit. We have lethal hits and sustained hits when we come from reserves. Benefictus with 20 Neophytes. We have sustained hits and lethal hits when coming from reserves. And lethal hits all the time with shooting. A Primus with Assassination Edict with 10 Demo Charge Acolytes. Less keen on that, but it has been good for blowing up, say, Librarius Conclave. They'll put a Librarian in a unit. It's now a character. I have so many demo charges for them. Rerolling hit rolls fully. Rerolling wound rolls fully with the demo charge acolytes if attacking an enemy on an objective. And I get +1 to hit because of Assassination Edict. So they're hitting on 4s with full rerolls to hit and full rerolls to wound. Maybe I can throw in like the Ridgerunner and get an extra AP. If they get overwatched and the enemy is good at Overwatch, it gets messy. So I'll have to be careful about that. I may be against Mordaka tomorrow, so... I mean, they can't get the sustained hits 2 from their detachment rule with Overwatch, because it's shooting phase only. But that can be good. That can be good. I would love to blow up some big mechs, or whatever they're using. 20 Neophytes just by themselves to get on objectives, be really hard to shift, hold stuff. Then I have, hello J. Conrad, wonderful to have you here. Biophagus with Our Time Is Nigh, +2 to the charge, leading Metamorphs, so we've got sustained hits, lethal hits, on the turn we come from reserves, if we make that 7-inch charge. I've been really bad at making that, like, twice I've made that charge, it's 7 inches. I shouldn't be statistically equal with making 9-inch charges. But there you go. +1 to wound against infantry can be good. I have a lone Abominant to pop up and do missions and hit things, why not? Same as 5 Acolyte Hybrids, 5 Acolyte Hybrids, if I need to get behind enemy lines, there you go. 2 of those 3 units can be behind enemy lines. And the Abominant, if she gets knocked down, she can get back up again and keep hitting things. Purestrain Genestealers and Reductus Saboteur, they're some of the few units that are starting the game on the table. Especially against Mordaka, which is going to have lots of shooting. Because we're using the previous unnerfed version of Mordaka. I don't know how many Mordaka players there'll be. Maybe it's none. Maybe it's like 5. And maybe all my games will be Mordaka. I don't know. But between Bomb Lady and Purestrains, we keep the enemy back with all our infiltrating. It's easy for me to complete missions if I go first. It's easy to blow them up if they come to me. And I've got 2 Ridgerunners, separate units, one with a laser, one with a mortar. So I can indirect fire to, say, help the Abominant, or anyone anywhere, because I'm coming from reserve, so wherever there's a space, that's where I want to have troops, that's where I'm going to shoot, that's what wants the mortar to have the crossfire special rule. Big mining laser to do damage. I'm gonna have them come on from reserve so they can come near to one of the neophyte blobs. Then I can have, you know, +1 to hit with a spotter. I can also give them the neophytes crossfire. I could instead do... I've already submitted the list. I can't remember what I have. Thank you. Welcome to the Legion. I might have the Survey Augur, because I've mentioned having the Survey Augur. I would have to check. 10 Neophytes just to start on the home objective, make it sticky. Maybe they die, doesn't matter, carry on. And a Locus with the Acolyte Iconward, no, with the Auto Pistol Acolytes. They have the mining tools. Whichever way I put the Locus, because they could go with the Metamorphs, could switch it around a bit. They're going to want a rapid ingress because I have fight first. So if enemy charges me, too bad. I fight first. I can charge in and hey, there we go. Let's kill some dudes. That's the list I'm taking tomorrow. Should be okay. 1 Iconward with 5 Flamer Acolytes. Don't know about that. I don't see the great benefit. Getting a 5+ feel no pain. Maybe you won't wipe out the whole unit, but can't you just have more acolytes? We'll see. Huh, that's what Floof does. Good for them. If it works for them, but that seems like a lot of points to me. Right, enough of this tournament talk. You go away now. And hide that. Back to the list. Right, what things did I just mention there that I want to keep going with? Tell me one of the people I just mentioned, and we'll do them. I also want to add... I see that there's no Benefictus model there, so I want to add a Benefictus. Benefictus. There you are. Well, I'm adding them, so I might as well put them on now. Benefictus! So, Benefictus, yeah, wasn't great when they first came out. Not a lot of people liked them. I didn't like them. I still don't like them. Their special ability gives them once per game 4+ invulnerable save, otherwise lethal hits at range, like the opposite of the Biophagus. Other armies are like, hey, you just get lethal hits. Genestealer Cult are like, we need character for every possible permutation of every possible rule. So, thinking of like detachments, yes, pretty good in the Host of Ascension. Then you got lethal hits when you come from reserve, which you would otherwise only get with a chink in their armor. I can't think of anything else. Mining laser head, yeah, you can do them in the Outlander Claw. Then you can shoot from a truck, but you could do that in any detachment. There's one thing, cartographic data leech, I think it is, for +1 to hit when you're inside a truck and doing the whole passing the gun to the truck and firing it from the firing deck. I think it's just going to be C tier, because it's only in the Host of Ascension that I want them. I know they can be okay in the Outlander Claw, but you're supporting 10 Neophytes at that point. Or you have them alone, and that's 70 points for a las cannon. At which point, hey, how about you just get a Ridgerunner, which has D3 shots with a las cannon, and does many, many other things, and is very few points extra, and is a lot more survivable. Brood Brothers Auxilia, maybe you could have a Benefictus. No, Brood Brothers Auxilia. There are las cannons available on Sentinels. How many points is a Sentinel? About the same. 70 points, Sentinel. No, cheaper. No way. Sentinel is cheaper? Armored Sentinel is cheaper. Yeah. Forget las cannon brain man in the Brood Brothers Auxilia. No. We're gonna have them not there. We'll just take the regular las cannons, thank you. I'm gonna put this guy in C tier. You use them in the Host of Ascension, you don't use them anywhere else. That's what I reckon. Right, any more characters? Oh yeah, of course there are. We have so many more characters. I want to have the drill. Let's talk about the drill. The drill exists, it can't move. That's about it. The Tectonic Fragdrill has 14 wounds, toughness 11. It can explode. It has objective control 0, so you can't even put it on your home objective and do something useful. You can't boost its objective control with any enhancements or anything, so no. It protects cult ambush markers. We have the Nexus, we have the Iconward that do that. Oh yeah, and we don't care about cult ambush markers in the current version of cult ambush. It's a D tier. You don't take one. It's the most points you can waste on a model. 125 points. Oh my. Oh dear, nope. That's it. Right, moving on. What other things have we got? We have... yeah, the Acolyte Iconward. Okay. Okie dokie. I don't know what Floof is doing with the Acolyte Iconward and 5 Acolytes. I mean, it works in Xenocreed, alright. That gives you a 5+ invulnerable save. No, 5+ feel no pain. And they have their own 3+ feel no pain because they're a character in that detachment. That's a lot of points for a feel no pain. 50 points, how many more models could you get for that? You could get a Sanctus instead, who is doing things. But in the Xeno Creed, you can get shot in the head, and then you stay, well, Vengeance for the Martyr stratagem. So enemies will get, you will be full rerolls to hit with Neophytes, Acolytes, and Metamorphs against the enemy that killed you. Maybe. Yeah, we've gone D for drill. I'll put the Iconward on screen. There you are. You don't bring back extra models, which is what the regular icons do. It's just the Feel No Pain. You can recover Cult Ambush blips if they get taken out, put them near you. Then you could have a unit rapid ingress, essentially, for free, out of Cult Ambush, which is the only way to rapid ingress with them. Okay, are they going to be C tier or D tier? Because I can't see any benefit for them outside of that. Iconward. I have always thought of them as a weird character, like, hey, this is... I mean, we did have them, like, in Rogue Trader-ish times. There was a guy with a banner. But then it was still very much like, hey, this is Warhammer Fantasy, but in space. So you have to have your general, you want to also have your battle standard bearer. They're just an icon, regular icon dude. Really easy to make out of, hey, I have an acolyte with an icon. Now it's an Iconward. I'm thinking C tier. I mean, in the Xeno Creed, we have put them in a truck, give them an enhancement, then they can advance and charge. Do that with Metamorphs. Metamorphs then get a 4+ invulnerable save. Advance and charge in Xeno Creed. Yeah. Okay, we're going with C tier. You think B tier? B tier is like generally good, but there's something else that overshadows them. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the narrow options I gave you. You have chosen wisely, chat. We'll go with C tier. We're definitely filling up that C tier bar. We have a little bit of space, but maybe we'll try and avoid C tier just for aesthetic reasons, if nothing else. Right, we'll go with a much easier one. The Magus. Now, they can be useful in the Xeno Creed detachment. Maybe not in a unit, but maybe you could put them with a unit of 5, just because. Yeah, you get your 3+ Feel No Pain. You can give enemies -1 to hit in the shooting phase. That is useful because you can do it while out of line of sight now. 18-inch range, no, 12-inch range, some range, 18-inch range, once per game, 24-inch range when you throw away their little dude that's following them around. The Familiar. Yes, Psychic Familiar. It's not quite as powerful as Mind Control was in past editions, where it was like, ooh, I take control of your character or enemy model, and now they do crazy things and shoot on my behalf. Z tier. Yeah. So, I mean, if you ever thought, would I want an Iconward, would I want a Magus, you'd probably take the Iconward. Yeah, I'd rather have a Magus than a drill, but that's the sort of level we're on, isn't it? They need some kind of decent psychic power. They needed the Benefictus Mind Laser, then they would be useful. Switch out their, hey, I on-battle shock a unit, or get rid of the -1 to hit psychic power, and say, okay, I give you, well, what does the Primaris Psyker give the Imperial Guard? Yeah, hey, here's a thing, I trigger it, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Here's a 4+ invulnerable save for the unit, or 5+ invulnerable save for the unit, and I have a Las Cannon Brain. That'd be pretty good. I think we could cope with that. But no, we had to split it over the Benefictus. Magus can be fun in boarding actions. Oh yeah, because, you know, you shoot through walls. Well, do the ability through walls to be -1 to hit. I see that, yeah. It's probably only boarding actions then. Right, the Clamavus. Clamavus. Let's just put you there. You all know how I feel about the Clamavus. A battle DJ is not a thing. I think the Clamavus is rarely taken casually. They were initially taken a lot in tournaments because people didn't like mirror matches with Genestealer Cults at top tables, but since the Genestealer Cult got their codex and they slipped heavily in the competitive ratings, teleporting Necrons are not scary, Grey Knights haven't really shot up. We're not seeing the Clamavus being used so competitively. No one can deep strike 3 inches away. So, what, 50 points? You could have more infantry to just block out the area, or have any other character. Can you think of a reason, besides making me annoyed, why you would want to take the Clamavus? Any reason? That's what I thought. If they're going to be C tier, if someone's going to say C tier, yeah, I guess he's a bard. Sure, he's a sci-fi bard. But if he's going to be C tier, which detachment is he good in? Because I don't think it's any of them. I mean, he's a hacker, but you can't, like, hack enemy tanks? That would be cool if it was like, hey, give him the Magus thing of, like, I hack your guns from long range. Then you're -1 to hit. Rather than, what does he have? Cause mortal wounds, but at a really short range? Yeah. One enemy model with one enemy unit within 18 inches takes a battle shock test. That's just bad. It doesn't even cause the mortal wounds thing anymore. It's in your command phase, so you could potentially flip an objective. Yours have drums. Why are you having a gun line? Genestealer Cult should not have a gun line. Good in final day for the detachment rule, is he? I mean, you can eat him. I'm fine with him being eaten by Tyranids. Deep strike him in. Have a Tyranid character eat him to get wounds back. That's fine by me. I like that. Suddenly, that first part of the detachment rule in final day is not so awful. I usually just skip that and I'm like, hey, I'm not even going to do it on, like, Death Leaper. And I don't take the big monsters or the characters. It seemed fun, but they're not that amazing. Distraction count effects, maybe. You know, Distraction Screamer Killer. Yeah, then we can take the Leviathan set, stick it in, then it would work, but no. Shame. Now we're putting this Clamavus in D tier, because I can't think of any detachment that he's going to be actually good in, aside from getting me eaten for fun. So, stays there. Stays in D tier. Right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things left. We have Locus, we have Biophagus, we have Acolytes, we have other kind of Acolyte, we have the Nexus, we have the Primus. Give me a shout out for one of them. Nexus. Rate his grumpy face. I don't know why he needs to be grumpy. It was just a whole thing of, he's got so much knowledge in his brain that it ages him prematurely. Okay, forbidden knowledge does that, I guess. Or you could make a Twitter account. That doesn't seem to massively age people. Twitter is a weird place. I'll just go on and like, hey, here's a new video from me. Oh, I scroll down, there's a guy getting murdered. Just a video of that. Don't like Twitter so much. Whatever the algorithm thinks of me doesn't seem to want to give me nice things like puppies. It's all murder death stuff. Anyway, yeah, Nexus. We'll do Nexus. Putting the Nexus with his table over here. What's the use of a Nexus? Nexus notes. Okay. He's gonna give you an extra command point if you use a stratagem. His other thing is like slightly moving blips around, which we do not care about. So he's only going to be good if you have good stratagems, so you do not want to have a Nexus in the Brood Brothers Auxilia. The host of the Ascension is the most obvious, then you have resources for more tunnel crawlers, primed and readied, things like that. Some use in Xenocreed, because I use a lot of their stratagems, but you don't want the Nexus pushed forward towards the enemy. And as you've just seen in my tournament list, Is that on screen? Oh, it's probably behind this. It's not behind this. I don't think I saved it. Anyway, in that tournament list I showed you like 10 minutes ago, that was based on my previous Host of Ascension 2000 point list. If you look at my Host of Ascension video, that's like, it's a slight modification of that list. It worked well for me. There was a Nexus in that. I got rid of the Nexus. And I swapped in a Biophagus. So we'll see how that does at the tournament tomorrow. I think I'm going to have enough command points. If there's some kind of secondary rule, like mission rule, where, hey, if you control your home objective, you might get an extra command point, that's great. My mining tool acolytes are there for murder, not for generating command points. Table needs its own tier. He's on a 40mm base? Did he get stuck on a 40mm base just to try and fit the table, and even then he doesn't actually fit the table? Yeah, it's a 40mm base. Now then, is it going to be C tier or is it going to be D tier? Because a lot of the times we don't have that good of stratagems, or if we do, like in the Outlander Claw, you can't use them on infantry. Final day, well, I hope you're not pushing him forwards with some unit that wants full rerolls to wound. And then you also need to get in range of other things. Nah. How do you spell Nexus? Not like Nexus, right? Let's go with B tier or C tier if you can think of one good detachment you want to use him in, or D tier. Now, he was excellent in the Index because the Index had amazing stratagems. And you could go, oh, yep, now I'm going down and up again. Final day, you could do some movement shenanigans. That's an option. You've got resistance tunnels, being able to do that every turn for free. Could be good with one unit. Like for the style, kind of like the Kelermorph, yeah. Really, when I did my video on how to improve the Genestealer Cult Codex, if you swap his ability with the Primus ability, so the Primus would be the one that gives you stratagems for one command point fewer, the Nexus would be the guy that puts 3 units underground at the start of the game. Then I can see good use for the Nexus, and I would just put him with the, say, Neophytes on the home objective, or Acolytes on the home objective. He goes there, he's done his thing, excellent. Or maybe don't give him any unit, just, hey, that's where he lives. He is going to sit on the home objective with the table at the back. That would make sense. C tier? Okay, we'll go with C tier. And I'll add him to the list of guys to use in the Host of Ascension list, like another time. See if he gets a bit better. Can I extend this a bit more? Not really. It'll probably just go to 2 ranks. Yeah, it goes into 2 ranks. Okay. That's never going to get narrower. That's fine. That's fine. Benefictus can be on their own. We've done the Nexus. Very good. What have we got after the Nexus? I've mentioned the Benefictus. Alright, tell me who you want next, chat. We have Acolytes left, we have other kinds of Acolytes, we have the Primus, we have... what else is there? The Locus, and we have the Biophagus. Dana, thank you for coming. Should I do it as a poll? I can do it as a poll. We can do it as a poll. Primus, Acolytes, a Biophagus, spelling Locus, and it only gives me 4 options, so there we go. And while you're voting on that, I'll just check the Just Giving thing. Which is that even higher? That is on £340 now. Very nice. That's a lot of money. Charity's going to appreciate that much money. Plus another 300 odd from my own pocket. Biophagus is looking good in the poll. Biophagus is the highest one. Alright. We'll do the Biophagus and then I'll do the Locus. Biophagus, come up to the top. Sit there for a moment. Right. I didn't initially like the Biophagus, but the Biophagus has certainly grown on me. Biophagus, I have notes. Where's my notes? And the Biophagus, there they are. Right. There was quite a... In the index, there was like 15 points difference between the Abominant and the Biophagus. So I was going to get the Abominant as long as I had the amount of, as long as I had the points. Then it was sustained hits 1 compared to lethal hits. The Biophagus can help with higher toughness things for the Aberrants or with the Metamorphs. Probably just them. I mean, I can put them with the Acolytes. Then we're getting wounds regardless of what we're fighting. Doesn't have to be vehicles, which is their mining tools will wound on a 4+ against vehicles. It means we can fight monsters with them. Then you're getting AP -2 and damage 3 against monsters if you roll a 6 to hit. Good. Good stuff. Primed and readied in the Host of Ascension to always... Well, you always have lethal hits. So now you have lethal hits on a 5. Very good. So you can make good anti-infantry, viable anti-tank. Maybe not as viable as a Strength 12 hammer, but viable. Yeah, much better for Acolytes and Metamorphs. Works in most detachments. You could have them in a transport. You won't be able to scout if you put them with Metamorphs. So less good there. Not as good in the Xeno Creed. Could have them in Xeno Creed. That works. I mean, as soon as you put a character in a unit in the Xeno Creed detachment, that unit rerolls, charge rolls, rerolls, advance rolls. That's very good. Biophagus has once per game +1 to wound against enemy infantry. That's very versatile. So you're wounding vehicles, potentially. Much better at wounding infantry. A necessary leader in the Biosanctuary Brood Surge. Because that gives your Acolytes or Metamorphs the detachment rule. +1 attack, +1 to charge. Great. Fantastic in the Host of Ascension, as I have found with playtesting, as I'm hoping works very well tomorrow. Really like him in Host of Ascension. Yeah, good, good. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? No? Okay. I mean, with all that said, I don't think he's S tier. There's not a lot of bonus where I think, oh yeah, I need this guy in Host of Ascension. No, I need him in Host of Ascension. I don't need him in Final Day. Not really doing anything in Brood Brothers Auxilia, because that's a shooting detachment. Not using them in Outlander Claw, but Biosanctuary Brood Surge, yes. Xeno Creed Congregation, yes. Host of Ascension, yes. That's 3 detachments. I'm thinking an A tier unit. Yeah. Not S tier, but pretty close to S tier. If he was your favourite character, I can understand that. And now that we don't have elites compared to HQ, you can have your army led by a Biophagus. That's very Twisted Helix. Said I would do the Locus next. Okay, Locus. Boom. Locus gives you fights first. The Locus also has fight first by themselves. So any of these abilities that are like, hey, while you're leading a unit, you do this. Separate to that, the Locus has fights first. So if they were alone because everything else died, they still fight first. I have learned not to underestimate fight first. Oh, and the Locus is our cheapest character at 45 points. I think they're going to be S tier. In the Brood Brothers Auxilia, you have an enhancement to heroically intervene for free on a unit within 9 inches. Hey, the Locus is within 9 inches of themselves. They can heroically intervene. because we're heroically intervening, you don't normally fight first, but the Locust and their unit does. Let's think. Other detachments. We're still good in the Xenocreed. Where our Acolytes and Metamorphs that are getting the bonuses of the Xenocreed detachment and now re-rolling their charge rolls, just by having a character in the unit. Host of Ascension, well, if we rapid ingress, then in the coming turn, we will have sustained hits, and fight first. So if we get charged, we still fight first and have sustained hits. Biocyclic Brood Surge is probably the only one where I'd want a Biophagus instead. Outlander Claw, maybe still take them. Maybe. And Final Day, I still want them in Final Day. That seems good to me. Yeah, you could take a couple of them in reserves for board edge secondaries. Like, if you thought the Abominant was good for that at 95 points, get shot, get back up, have a las cannon hammer. 2 Locus is cheaper. 2 Loci? 2 of the Locust characters. That's where, yeah, you get charged. Oh, I fight first. We always have the option to do a heroic epic challenge and try and kill an enemy character. 5 attacks, damage 2, AP -2, hitting on 2s. That's just good. That is good. Okay, I'm going to say S tier. Because even if there's one detachment where I don't use them, I use them in all the others. Like every time. Very, very good. Right, we've got 3 left. I think 3 left. We have, yep, the Primus, the Acolytes, or the Acolytes. What do you fancy? And we have the Just Giving link still available in the description. As you can see, we're getting closer to the end of the stream, so if you wanted to add money, now is a great time to do so, and I will read out any messages you put through the Just Giving link to help the Albert Kennedy Trust charity, which helps young people who are homeless to not be homeless. I could flip a coin. Nah, I like making you vote. So, next one. Is it going to be the Primus? Is it going to be Flamer Acolytes? Is it going to be Auto Pistol and Mining Tool Acolytes? There's a poll. And while you're voting on that, I'll give the money. So I give £303.77. Continue. Thank you to everyone who has supported the charity. As I promised, threatened, I have matched the donation amount, but raised my initial amount from 250 to 300. Plus, there was a super chat in there. As you are all so amazing. Not going to be sad. It's fine, this is a good thing. I'm not sad because I'm losing money. I'm sad because I'm happy sad. Happy sad. Not crying. Not crying. But I am really grateful. We're back. Yeah. It did look like I was having a stroke. Can't do 2 things at once. Imagine how bad this would have been if I also had the hand tracking on. Are we back to normal? Okay, we're back to normal. I'm here. Yeah, we are Primus. Okay. So, one ability lets you move units underground. If you... I mean, you can even deploy him off the board at the start of the game and still do that. You can also shuffle infiltrators around. because you can redeploy infiltrators with the infiltrator rule. That's a great ability just by itself, especially in the Host of Ascension when you want more units underground. Coming up from a blow, and then you get sustained hits 1. In a unit, you get to fully reroll hit rolls. That's very good with Demo Charge Acolytes, Combat Acolytes, 20 Neophytes is gonna be my preference almost all the time. Could do it with Metamorphs, hitting on a 3+. It's a lot of points for a one-off demo charge thing. But if you think of the Host of Ascension, re-roll all the hit rolls, have sustained hits, have lethal hits from a chink in our armor enhancement. That's great. In the Brood Brothers Auxilia, you hit the enemy with a Ridgerunner, -1 AP. You hit them with a Brood Brothers unit. No, do the other way around. Brood Brothers unit, then a Ridgerunner. So the Ridgerunner gets +1 to hit. Then you get Crossfire bonus, so it's an extra AP. Then we're stacking the bonuses. Right, so now our Neophytes are hitting on 3s, re-rolling all hit rolls. Is there anything else I'm missing? An extra AP as well from the Ridgerunner. That's okay. It's a decent stacked bonus. The Primus is a very key leader in the Xenocreed congregation. They get the 3+, Feel No Pain as a model. The unit they're with can reroll advance and charge roll, so that's definitely where you want to put them with like Acolytes. Biosanctum Brood Surge, not so much, but they can double up with the Biophagus if you want to have a very expensive unit. Then full rerolls to hit and an extra attack per unit. Primus will also get that as well. I don't see why they wouldn't. Or is it modeled? No, it's Biophagus units. He would be part of a Biophagus unit. So there's an extra attack. Outlander Claw, I'm not seeing a bonus, other than shifting stuff around on the ground, but we don't want to do that because we're going to be in trucks, mostly. Otherwise, because of the things we have on the table, that's where we'll be fine with our regular reserves limit. We could shuffle around some infiltrators, maybe. Maybe. Brood Brothers Auxilia, very good. Final Day, nah, not so much needed. Reroll hit rolls of 1, which it basically is, because with the detachment bonus we can hit on a 2+ with many units. It can be okay. In the Xenocreed congregation, I like the Down with the Tyrants enhancement. Then you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound against a character unit. So as long as you're coming from reserve, so ideally something that's shooting and doesn't need to have a successful charge roll, because 9 inches, even rerolling charge, may still not work. That can be good. Kill a character unit. That can be a leader with a bunch of other people, or it can be something with the character keyword. That's okay. But he's a very good character. Do we want to have the Primus in A tier, or do we want the Primus in S tier? Is it like, okay, every detachment, or basically all the detachments, in which case we're thinking S tier. A tier is like, yeah, they're generally good units, good in most detachments. Because there's only 2, maybe 3 where I wouldn't want a Primus, but I would still be okay with a Primus. Quite expensive as a model. 80 points for a Primus? Whoop. Yeah, 80 point Primus. It's many points. It's many points. I'm sure they've been more. Maybe have been less. 67% saying A tier. I'm happy with A tier. A tier it is. I thought they might have got to S tier, but chat has decided. Does this mean the only ones left are our 2 kinds of acolytes? It does. No, they can't go into Brood Brothers Command Squad, but they can lead Neophytes, so that's where you get it. May not always take the Primus, but I'd consider taking the Primus. Yeah, that's a good idea. Primus would be the leader in a Hive Cult, for certain. Or maybe a Nexus, arguably a Nexus, if you want like the backfield commander, but I would think a Primus. We're in a new month. I can give out some memberships. Well, you all did so well with the charity. I feel like giving back to you as well. So have some memberships. To Adam, to Lupus King, to C.R. Smith, to Bubba, also known as Bubba, and Lucid. I'm glad you are lucid. Have a membership. Okie dokie. Enjoy those memberships. You get the little emotes. You can use emotes now if you remember. All of my Von Carmine emotes. They're all available on any chat message, not just livestream ones. It can be in comments. Always an option now. Okie dokie. Acolytes. We'll do alphabetically. So, auto pistol acolytes with mining tools. What can we do with them? So they are pretty good generally. I mean, we don't care about the auto pistol part. The important part is these are the acolytes that take the mining tools, not the acolytes that take the demo charges. I use them for combat. I know some people use them for their mining ability to get command points. If they're on an objective at the start of the command phase on a 4+, you get a command point. Okay, that's something you could do. Something in the home objective. I prefer to just have 10 Neophytes. That's a large area of the board you're covering that the enemy can't deep strike onto because it's 10 bodies, and it's a sticky objective. And you could move away if you wanted. I think that works better. So I'll use the Acolytes with mining tools for the damage. Strength 5 is fine, yeah. You can hit Terminators. Oh, and it's damage 3, so that will kill Terminators. It's really going to mess up people. Anything that's got 3 wounds goes down very quickly. When we don't have Aberrants with damage 3 after the index, we still have damage 3 with these mining tools. Against lighter infantry, Metamorphs may do better. And if you think of light infantry generally, the demo charge acolytes have the hand flamers to burn them, and they still have claws. The hand flamer acolytes have the same claws as the acolytes with mining tools. At that point, it depends on the situation, but I really like the mining tools. A squad of 10 has 6 mining tools, which can really mess people up, especially in Final Day. +1 to hit. Biosanctum Brood Surge, +1 attack with a Biophagus. And Xenocreed, where there is a stratagem to have +1 to hit and +1 attack. You get Hazardous, but hey, doesn't matter. We'll get them back with the cult icon. I would probably love it if the 2 kinds of acolytes had their special rules swapped around. The hand flamers make for great point defense because of Overwatch if they're on the home objective. Very good. Then they can stay on an objective, they can generate the command points potentially. And the acolytes with the mining tools, if they got reroll wound rolls in combat for their strength 5 mining tools, that would be great. It's only a drill. It's a good drill. We haven't got the 3 different kinds of things. There wasn't the saw, the drill, the cutter. I thought they were kind of fun with the different things, but I know people thought, oh yeah, I'll just go for the plain saw because it's damage 2 and strength 5 and you don't need to think about all of these extra special abilities. And people were trying to get second-hand ones and 3D print them. Wasn't a great time. I'm okay with them being just merged together in one, even if the idea of the drill was fun. Because if you scored a successful wound, 1 damage, then you rolled a dice. On a 2+, it does another wound. On a 3+, it does another wound. Then on a 4+, it does another wound. And on a 5+, you could drill and pierce the heavens. Or you had the cutter, where you could, like, slice characters in half. You've injured them, you roll a dice. If it's more than their wounds characteristic, they die. So you were unlikely to get characters who often had 5 wounds in 9th edition, but Terminators, you could just kill Terminators. Really good at that. So I'm happy that they're damage 3 now. Characters that go with them, Biophagus is an obvious one for Biosanctum Brood Surge. Locus is a good one. I don't think there's any other characters that really get enhanced much by them. Maybe the Primus, but I'm finding more and more the Primus should go with the Neophytes. Acolyte Iconward will give them a 5+ Feel No Pain, which you could do. Yeah, I don't want a Clamavus. Nexus is an option. Makes shooting a bit harder for the enemy. I mean, the Magus would do that. Nexus, extra command points. Yeah, that's an option. But really, I'm looking at the Biophagus or the Locus. Fights first. Fights first with mining tools. You're not getting through that without a problem. I think these are going to be an A tier unit. Maybe they're B tier. Maybe you can think, no, I can see how, I don't know, Metamorphs would be better, but Metamorphs cost more. How Aberrants are better, but 5 Aberrants costs more than 10 Acolytes with mining tools. You get way more attacks with Acolytes. I'm happy putting these in A tier. Very good. That only leaves our Acolytes with Hand Flamers. Acolytes with Hand Flamers, right. As you may have seen, and as I found myself from the 6 lists with 6 detachments for Genestealer Cult, that video I did, I think I put 5 Acolytes with Hand Flamers in every detachment. If I'm being Infantry Horde, if I'm doing a mechanized thing, if I'm doing an Elite Strike, if I'm doing Deep Strike shenanigans, a small unit of 5 is all that's necessary to pop up, complete missions, take objectives, clear light infantry with their Hand Flamers. That's all you really want. Don't take the demo charges, because this isn't the index. I mean, if you have the models with the demo charges, use the demo charges. Why not? Demo charges only really work in the Host of Ascension, where you have the Tunnel Crawler stratagem, where you arrive 6 inches away. Demo charges are now 8-inch range. That was balance patched. I find there's often better stratagems to spend command points on than Tunnel Crawlers, just to get the demo charges in range. It's still pretty good. You can still work with that. It's not usually worth... then again, if you do a 2 command point thing, Tunnel Crawlers have a Benefictus in the unit, then primed and readied. So your demo charges, which are getting a lot of shots, D6 plus blast? I don't usually use them that often. Yeah, D6 plus blast, plus sustained hits, plus lethal hits, and that's triggering on a 5+. And you're getting full rerolls to wound. And they're strength 9. It's going to blow up a lot of Space Marines, which is what I'm using them for. Taking unit of 10 with Assassination Edict in my tournament army, so that's why they have a 4+. They hit on a 4+. And yeah, they have sustained hits. A bunch of stuff. It's there to delete some character combos. It's very good. But otherwise, they're a unit of 5. Aside from that one combo in the Host of Ascension, they're a unit of 5 in every detachment. With a Cult Icon is best, and 4 Hand Flamers. That's my personal preference. You can have 5 Hand Flamers instead. I find that if I don't need it, I have the Cult Icon. If I need the Cult Icon, I don't have it. It's the eternal pain. The enemy will be like, oh yeah, they've got 5 Hand Flamers, I'll kill 3 of them. Oh, I could have regenerated from that. But if I have the Cult Icon, they're like, nah, everyone's dead. Maybe that's deliberate. They may be deliberately doing that to taunt me. So because I'm using them in all the detachments, they're going to be in S tier. I think they're going in S tier. What do I think is the best Baneblade variant for the Genestealers? I've never wanted to pick any other than the Shadow Sword. Big cannon to get rid of enemy tanks, which can just one-shot rhinos, predators, anything like that. Land raiders you can take out if you also fire the las cannons on there. And we have one stratagem, synchronized symbiotic destruction, which allows you to reroll wound rolls of 1. So if your big forever goodbye cannon did roll a 1 to wound with its strength 24 shot, then you get to reroll it. So that's the reason why I think the Shadow Sword is the best. Doesn't always make its points back, but no one's going to put their things in front of it. And if they have a very cluttered army, mechanized army, like, oh, I'm going to have to put like several things in the way. We get to kill anything. Whatever we want will die. And it has a really high objective control as well, like 5 or 8? It's at least 5. Actually, I think the... what's it called? The Rogel Dawn is 5. Rogel Dawn, Battle Tank is OC 5. Baneblade, Shadowsword. Objective Control 8. So I'd go with the Shadowsword. I like the Shadowsword. I have a tier list of what's good for the Brood Brothers Auxilia. It's a video, you may want to look it up as a separate thing. So half the combat patrol is in S, the other half is in C tier. I guess so, because you got the Ridgerunner there. You can have Handflamer Acolytes made from the Metamorphs in the combat patrol box, because it is just the Acolyte box. It's a good box. I was kind of tempted by the combat patrol because for a lot of people, it's the units you don't have. It's one of those combat patrols. Not so much a get you started, but a get you continued. Yeah, Metamorphs are there in A tier on the left-hand side. Or you've got the Acolytes with Drills, also made from the same box, in A tier. Then you got the Jackal Bikers and the Jackal Alphus in C tier. You only get one unit of them. Yeah, 1 unit of 5. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm happy with that tier list. There we go. So I'm sure that people who skip to the end are like, well, that's all I needed to see. But it isn't, because you don't know why things are there. You don't know the drama, the struggles that Chat and I went through to figure out just where everything should be in the current meta. Kit bashing from a combat patrol and the Acolytes? What a good idea! You could make a bunch of characters. 4+ feel no pain on the Iconward? I'm okay with just the 5+ feel no pain. I think that's usually enough. Right, I don't think there's anything else to cover there. So... we've done the charity money. Have we raised any more? Oh, David Hastings gave another 5 United States dollars. Thank you very much. Wonderful stuff. This is going to continue going for a bit longer, the Just Giving charity page. There's no reason to stop it. But having raised 258% of the original planned amount, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. £648 will definitely get some people off the streets. It can do things like get them a passport so they have ID, so they can go to other government institutes and be like, this is who I am. I have evidence of who I am. That can help them out. You can charge up a phone for like a tenner. That'll help. And you can get them some accommodation for I don't know how many nights. So that's going to help some homeless kids. Good job, everyone. Good job. I think that's where I end the stream. Because it's nearly 10 o'clock. For me, I start at 7. That's 3 hours of me. 3 hours of me talking is probably enough. And I do have that tournament to go to tomorrow. And part of my tournament prep is not just put things in the box, which I've already done. After, of course, dropping the box and gluing together a few more models that broke. But hey, they're back together. It's fine. They're in the box. It's good. Part of my tournament prep is to sleep well. So that is what I am going to do. And then we'll see how the tournament goes. And if it's super interesting, yeah, you'll get a video out of it. If it's just a pretty run-of-the-mill, I played some games of 40k, then no. It'll just be another stuff for the back of the mind. Thank you very much. I hope it's great. Hope it's good. Everyone, have a great day of 40k.